man. Okay, that's good. So, basically, in Waterdeep, it's been recently overran by groups of adventurers, and they all coming up with these random maps that have clues that lead to this secret dragon treasure hoard that has been rumored about the area. Well, unfortunately, through some certain events, a more recent, competent group of adventurers, maybe even some of you, if you'd like to pretend, have been kind of set things a little bit more straight in Waterdeep, especially for a very certain individual who goes by the name of, by most, would know him as one of the masked Lords of Waterdeep, whose identity is not known. However, classic adventurers like yourselves are privy to a bit more information. And you know, this guy, he is, instead of just the Bloody Baron, the masked Lord of Waterdeep, you also know him to be an actual vampire who goes by the name of Artur Moreland. And the introduction to this whole series has him eventually meeting up with some more competent adventurers who make their way into his abode deep beneath the city of the dead. And he's a little bit ticked off with all these recent intrusions into his area because somehow these quote-unquote maps, you know, they seem to be a little bit phony as there's a bunch of them, all lead these poor adventurers down into the city of the dead and usually to their demise by the hands of Artur, because he's not one to be trifled with. However, he knows that his time down here in the city of the dead is pretty much up. Otherwise, his secret identity is going to be found out. And so he puts a pretty secretive call out, of course, to up-and-coming adventurers in Sword Coast. And that is, of course, you guys. So this may be your first time in Waterdeep, or you may already have been here or been hanging out here, you could say. But you get a pretty anonymous summons to this place called the City of the Dead. And as you pass by these tall white walls of stone, the guard towers at the front of this what turns out to be a graveyard, definitely shows you guys that they mean business and keep things pretty well guarded. But you also see that this isn't a simple graveyard. It's treated almost like a public park as well, and people are all strolling around and kind of enjoying it for what it's worth and respecting the dead and things like that. And yeah, we'd be playing that Minecraft here. That's my wife, actually. She rocks. But those who slay together stay together, they say. But anywho, you pass through this, and it's a little bit ominous, but it's not so much as you would think, as it's pretty well kept and well taken care of and well lit and well guarded and even. But this summons has directed you to a specific statue that you press a little button on it, and a statue kind of hinges out, and maybe a couple of you arrive at the same time, or it's kind of staggered, but eventually all 5 of you are in the presence of Artur Moreland. As you went through his tomb, you could see that there were some traps and different things like that poor adventurers probably wouldn't make it out alive. And speaking of, you see some recent corpses of obviously tier 1 adventurers kind of scattered about the place. But you guys are just walking right in, no problem, until you're eventually in the presence of Artur Moreland himself. He's a handsome man, of course, and he appears to be only maybe late 30s, early 40s, and yet the presence he gives off tells you that he's probably much older than that, even hundreds of years older than that. He definitely puts off a pretty intimidating presence, but he welcomes you more warmly into his abode. Thank you for joining me on such short notice. I will give you my secret identity for working here. I am Artur Moreland, better known as the Masked Lord, the Bloody Baron. You may or may not know me, and before I will have you speak, I would let you know that it is my job to keep other beings like me away from the city of Waterdeep. That's how I gain my renown here and the circles that matter, and these are my responsibilities. You may be aware of certain individuals passing into my abode lately, and I am growing rather tired of this. I would ask you to find me a new place to live, and we may also squash some opposing forces in the meantime. before we get down to the details, I would like for you to properly introduce yourselves to me. It is an honor to have you deep down here, and not many get to see my face or meet me for who I truly am. Only true heroes of renown get this honor. So please, tell me who you are. And if just for DM purposes, if you'll tell me your just whatever you want to tell me, and then also mix in your race, class, and levels. And I may ask you again if I miss it, but we'll just go down the line, starting with the most wonderful Lily.
Lily, Forest Gnome, Arcane Trickster Rogue, trained assassin, but leans more towards thief.
And what's your level?
7.
Okay. So if y'all could have taken a level if you're playing the same character from earlier, and if you're need to do that over time as we're playing or something, totally feel free. So you can tell me that level if you do want to do that, or whatever you want to do, just tell me. Also, I like to do a DM inspiration for a little bit of role play, and I know we're kind of gonna speed past the intro because we already did all that, but for role play purposes. Is this Lily's first time in Waterdeep? And if so, or if not, what's her take on this big city? Or what is maybe one thing she's done while she's here and to enjoy the grandiose city life? And the question will be the same for everybody.
First time in Waterdeep. Pretty nice place. Seems like my kind of place. Been doing a little scouting, little drinking, having some fun.
Oh, and there's so much fun to be had. It's almost calling at you. And when you tire from one place, the next one is there to take your coin. So you learn quick you have to guard it a little heavily, more than usual in your downtime. And all right, with that, we'll go to, is it Hagar or Hagar?
Hagar. Yeah, he first down Waterdeep. He's level 7. And he's mostly trying to find ways to find out more information and to see if he can get away with as much as he can within the law. Or outside the law, he'd not get caught. And that's about it.
And so you're finding out that it's difficult too. All those usual little tricks and cons that you'd pull off. It's like every time you're starting to get one going, boom, there's a pack of guards behind you. One time you watched a similar grifter type get caught, and he got whisked away in chains, and you never heard from that person again. So they take this legal code here very seriously. And then real quick, what was your... I know earlier you said rogue and sorcerer, but what's your race?
Oh, very human.
Okay. Alright, so level 7. Let's keep it on rolling to, is it... so we got Hagar, and then is it Raston?
Yes, Raston is a 8th level half-orc male ancestral guardian barbarian with the Outlander background, and he's never been to Waterdeep. He has worked as a guide and has done security details from Tribor to Waterdeep. Once he gets him to the gate to Waterdeep, he's never ventured into the city, so maybe it's time for him to do so.
And it definitely just feels like a foreign land, You may face all these kind of fearsome foes in battle and draw blood and do these dealings for all these different people, but all of a sudden, even this, just walking through the city streets might make you feel a bit more out of your element, or a little bit on edge. You can tell it's kind of always something going on here, and in the underlying, sometimes maybe even underneath your feet.
It's definitely a sensory overload, kind of being in Times Square in New York that night.
Exactly. And then so we'll go on to Hrodgar.
Hrodgar is a half-orc. He's a 5-5 champion and barbarian 3 beer totem. He has the gladiator background, so he's never been to Waterdeep, but he has every other gladiator going there for fame and gold.
So so you haven't cracked the code into the shady underground dealings of the pit fighting and things like that. Unlike you witnessed in the last one, it's a little more secretive on how they have to do these dealings here. But you may yet find yourself earning some gold through battle in another way.
Yeah, that's what interests me.
And last but certainly not least, we'll do Segalian.
Yeah, this is Segalian is a Bugbear Emerald Enclave faction agent. He is a level 7 Ranger 2 Monk Wave Mercy 5. So he's first time in Waterdeep, the big city, and he is super uncomfortable. He's got his hood up and trying to slouch down because he's 8 feet tall, and he's getting all these funny looks, and he's not comfortable at all in the urban environment. And this tomb actually seems a little bit better because there's not a whole bunch of people looking at him, and he does not fit in.
And I guess we could say really that perhaps the 5 of you, after a brief stint elsewhere in some strange means, you had to leave another friend behind as he had to recover from his recent injuries. But, you traveled abroad and got the calls here for the strength, that you possess. And so, you guys have probably known each other now for a while, of course. And I would say that, in the sense that Segalian and Raston, you would even kind of be able to bond in this moment of how, at least in such a wild place, you could share your feelings with each other, and they'd be pretty relative. So there's that, at least. Strength in numbers. And so let's see, calculating up. I think this is an interesting one, too. You know how they do it those seasons. They'll be throwing those APLs in random places, because this is an APL of 5. And my guess is you guys are going to be way over that. So 37 divided by 5. What's that, like 7 and a... Or no, what? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. 35. That's 7 in a chunk. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks for doing the math there. My bad. You see me on the camera, you see my brain all fuzzing up. Derp. Alright. So yeah, y'all are well over that. Alright, let me double check, just because that's kind of a wonky number in relation. So let's see what the actual number of it is. So congratulations, guys. You are 5 character. No wait, 1, 2, 3. Yep, 5. Okay, 5 characters greater than. So we're gonna be a strong party today.
Oh Lord.
And we'll see how it goes. I mean, sometimes that can be walked through still, or other times that might be hard. So if I have to pull or throw anything in with time and all that. Speaking of, I know maybe not everybody caught it earlier, but I'm going to try to have us all done here and wrapped up by 10. And so hopefully that's agreeable. But if that's not, we could maybe strive for 9:30.
It's fine with me.
10 Central or Eastern?
Oh, I'm sorry. 3 hours from now.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
I can match that.
Yeah, just so
Okay.
no matter what, we'll try to be done exactly in 3 hours from now, or less, I guess, depending on how things go. And with that, Artur produces a contract. A contract! Oh. This is not what you would have expected as adventurers. You're not usually given an actual formal contract, but here in Waterdeep, things are done differently, and sometimes people have to answer for certain things that
Kelly?
What's up?
Excuse me to stop you here. It's I'm in Belgium here. It's already 2 a.m. So I thought it would last for 2 hours or something, because if it takes 3 hours from now on, it will be 5 a.m. At my place. So
how you can stay for however long you are able to. What would be the time you think? How much longer from now?
Well, I don't want to stop to ruin everyone's fun, but I think I could go for 1 more hour, but more than that would be too handicapping for me for tomorrow. So yeah, I could understand if I was removed right now if it's necessary.
It's totally your call. It's not. It's your call. I mean,
I just don't want to impact the group on this, so I can do 1 more hour with no problem at all. But I don't want to handicap the group in any way, so it's your
We
call.
appreciate you speaking up, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's honorable instead of just dipping, you know.
yeah, for sure. Let me see real quick.
I mean, I think we can take it, you roll with us for as long as you can, and then if you drop out, then the rest of us, I think, should be able to handle everything
Yeah,
else.
because even doing the calculation without him, y'all are... Oh, wait, no, because then it would drop under. I think y'all might just drop down to be an average. So that'd be pretty easy for me to tweak. If we go from strong to average on an encounter, I can... Technically, I have nothing set up, so it's whatever I pull out is whatever we pull out for the tier there. So
let's just roll with punches and do it.
Yeah, we'll just go through and hopefully if we'll tabulate or whatever how much you gain, and hopefully if we roll through some stuff, we can get you at least a few more good rewards to take with you. Add that to what you got earlier, and it may end up being worth it. So anyways, I'll skim through this contract, and thankfully it does actually kind of give you some details too onto to what's going on with his situation. And then of course, if you have any more questions for him afterwards, just for details, he will sure answer them. So the signing below, hereby referred to as the contracted party, that is you fellows, are empowered to destroy any and all vampire and vampire-related undead threats to public safety located within the first level of the Undermountain, also referred to as the dungeon level. They are further empowered to act as they deem fit to any individuals with current or prior allegiance to the group known as the Undertakers. This principal assignment is expected to require the contracted party's services for an extended duration and thus has no set completion date. What I'm saying there is there could be a further couple jobs for you after this one, but for now, if you could find out where this Undertaker group resides and at least come back to me with that information, that should do. But going further, you may be required to complete any additional required tasks not explicitly detailed in this contract in the pursuant of the principal agreement. You may have to secure and locate an entrance to certain residences, i.e. the Undertaker's dungeon level. How this is done can be completed at your discretion, but provided appropriate justification, I may be able to cover for you in certain things. Anyone living would ideally be taken for manipulation or enthrallment, detained alive for appropriate sentencing or magical rehabilitation if needed. However, if the contracted party has to, they are permitted to kill any potential threats and he kind of smiles at this with like a little bit of a wicked glint in his eye. As he says, they're permitted to kill threats in self-defense. But any such deaths should be fully documented, pending a full investigation by appropriate authorities. Okay, I could go on, but this is all just legal safety nets. What you do what must be done, and I will have you legally covered. If murder, if you want to call it that, in self-defense is discovered, you will be completely free from the law.
So what you're saying is we literally have the right to defend ourselves by any means necessary.
Agreed. And just to fill in a little bit more, as I mentioned, I am responsible for keeping other ilk out that are like myself, but not nearly as worthy. And so if you could find this new group popped up in the Undermountain called the Undertakers, they seem to be some vampires, clear them out, and any abode that satisfies them should be more than appropriate for me, and I'll move on in. And there may be some more tasks for you after that, for another day, of course, but if you're all willing, I would have you sign here, and don't worry, it's not in blood. And he kind of holds out this scroll for you all to sign if you want.
Signed.
Segalian will kind of pick his nose and figure out how to sign it, not really bothering to read it.
Raston will make an X.
Gar will sign something, but you don't have a chance to read it. You just sign it and then use it.
as he kind of stuffs it away, he says, "This is just a formality, and be rest assured, I'll reward you all hundreds of gold, I'd say, each. We'll figure out the specifications, depending on how well you do, but you'll be properly rewarded. And, of course, as these things go, if you see anything out of the ordinary that you like, you may keep it. I just desire the location for myself, so as long as you can get there and locate it, that should be good. A good start, I'd say. Now, I'm sure you're wondering how to get there. I have a contact. He's in a pretty popular inn here in Tavern. You may have heard of it. It's called the Yawning Portal, and the barkeep there, he goes by the name of Durnan. So if you could stop by there and visit him, he has a bit of a cover. I know this is probably a bit out of the ordinary for most adventures you'd go on, but here in Waterdeep, we have to be careful, and everything has to have a reason and a cover for what we do, lest prying eyes give us away to other authoritarians here. So, if you'll see this Durnan, he'll give you a good patsy cover, if you will, and he'll see you off to the Undermountain, and I shall hear of your return.
All right, let's go.
So y'all leave this grim, foreboding place, and retrace your way back through the City of the Dead, and back through the wonderful streets of Waterdeep, of course, till you come across the one, the only, the Sword Coast famous, the Yawning Portal.
Is there like a back door for bugbears?
You can squeeze in. This place is accommodating of all types. You'll see, as this is a pretty favored place for adventurers, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Speaking of the Yawning Portal, it has a large and comfortable common room. There's bar and tables of stout wood, and they fill a lot of spaces in the room. But even bigger than that, on the ground floor is this huge well that just dips down, they say, into the Undermountain itself, fathomably deep below. You don't want to drop your coin down there. You'll never get it back. You might not even ever hear it hit the bottom. That being said, there's also a couple floors above where they keep the rooms and stuff, and it's hustling and bustling like it always is. And yet, you see Durnan pretty easily. He's a balding fellow with a very pronounced mustache. You can see he may have done some good deeds of different things in his past as well, but now he's just here running the bar, doing his thing. Some of you may have known of him called the One, or perhaps the Wanderer. But he sees you all come in, and of course he's expecting you from Artur, so he waves you all over to the bar.
I guess I'll shamble over.
I'll follow.
You know where I'm going. Hello, bar.
Welcome, and welcome back to some, I believe. This is probably not your first time here at the Yawning Portal, but then again, those adventuring faces all blend together, and he kind of gives you a wink, because he knows exactly who y'all are. Come on, let me give you a drink. First one's on the house. And at this, you can see some angry other customers that are like, "What? I just paid $3.50 for mine." Well, you guys kind of all sit up there, and he pours you out some drinks, and he's like, "Sorry, just the house ale on this one." And well, so what brings you all to Waterdeep there?
The Baron sent us?
Yeah, a Baron from some far land sent you here for trade, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Well, in your meantime here, I'm sure you wouldn't mind making a little coin. I got this special drink here. If one of you's brave enough, perhaps you could try it, and then we could get you down to real business. Who's brave enough?
Oh, dear.
I drink stuff. Maybe she does too.
Well, we got two. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. And then he pulls it out, and you can see he's got a jug that's it's getting pretty low, but I think I can squeeze out a couple shots here for you. And he pours it out, and as he does, you see it's this very dark blue color liquor. And he pours it out for you, and he lines it up, and he says, "Well, go ahead if you want."
Salute. Knocks it back.
So does Segalian.
Oh, it's so bitter. It's a very shocking taste as it kind of ruptures in your taste buds. You feel yourself reeling for a moment as you go under the poisoned effect. It only lasts like a minute, but you feel that is just the effect of the alcohol. But in addition to that, you turn towards each other and smile perhaps as you start to feel a little lightheaded. And Lily and who's the second one?
Segalian.
So Lily and Segalian, the two double L's, y'all look at each other and smile, and you realize that your bones, I guess, or otherwise known as teeth, I guess some people call them that, or fangs, I guess, in Segalian's chants for some of them, have turned to be a very dark blue color, matching the drink you've had. And then you notice that whenever you first came in this place, there was just this hubbub of languages and all kinds of people talking and things, but this one language kind of stood out in particular to each of you, just one that you don't understand. And that's why, let's say, like, hopefully neither of you understands, like, Draconic or something, maybe, and we'll say that could be it. Or perhaps it was just two separate ones you picked out in the blue. But all of a sudden, you've noticed now that you can understand them, like, perfectly, as if you were fluent in the language yourself. And you just kind of, and then as Dernan leans closer and he's like, yeah, you see, it's kind of a special drink. Not only that, but some of the rumors go that you can't just understand all languages, but you may also be able to speak with the dead when you drink this stuff. Now, let's get down to business. There's a place in the Undermountain dungeon level, and he kind of like gives you a little sly wink at that again, where the material for this drink comes from. There's a dwarf that lives there, and he comes up every so often. I haven't seen him in a few months, but last time he did, he gave me a little stock of this stuff. And as you can see, you just drank my last bit. This stuff's very high dollar, super pricey with the, the people trying to, do secret dealings, and then when they have to do, between nations and races and things, they can't understand each other, and they can't afford or find a magician to use that spell, comprehend languages. They can just drink this drink, and there you go. It doesn't last forever, but it can do. And well, here, I'll get straight to the point. That little dwarf druid, man. Let me think. I usually just call him Bluetooth, but I think his name's like Lim or something like that. Bluetooth. Yeah, they always look like yours, Lily. But yep, a druid. That's right. He's a nice little fellow, if a bit peculiar, but I guess that's kind of the druidic way, if you ask me. Anywho, he may meet him down there, and he might be able to help you, but there should be a bigger supply of it down there somewhere. And if I'm not gonna expect you guys to carry it all up here, but if you could even bring me word of where a replenishable supply is, I could give you an extra reward. But if you can at least just bring me up a few handfuls of it, I could pay you pretty heftily for that. And then he's kind of like under his breath, and it's in the same place as those Undertaker guys.
Can you share a recipe?
Well, you know what? I can't share the recipe, but you could probably figure it out for yourself. It's not that complex if you're used to brewing, but here's the deal. I see you like this stuff there. Would you say your name was Segalian?
Segalian.
Well, I'll tell you what. You, Lily, and the other three there, too, if you can do this for me, and I get a good supply of this stuff, how about free blue drinks on the house anytime you want them?
That sounds good. How about a little more to bring back to the establishment I have to run in the woods? This would go over good.
Well, if you're interested in some dealings, we can talk more after. It sounds like I'm going to have a good supply of it if you guys can help me out. And if not, I could probably make a few barrels from what you bring me up, at least.
He belches and agrees.
All right, and how about the rest of you? Everyone want to go get this lucrative drink business underway?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sure, I will drink some as well.
Okay. And so, yeah, if there could have been enough to pour out a shot for anybody who wanted to try it. And so you kind of get a sense for, like, what it does and how it feels and what your teeth look like. And so he kind of points you guys out of town, and we'll just skip on into it. Yeah, it burns going down, but it's not like the worst thing you've tasted. I'm trying to think of this like 1800 drink I had whenever I was a youngster, and it was like so freaking dark. It was like this raspberry stuff or whatever, which, yeah, whew, that stuff was harsh, but hopefully this is a little bit better. Anyways, you guys make it to this kind of little entrance outside of Waterdeep, off the beaten path, and it's kind of a. Go ahead and everybody roll me a history check real quick. We're missing one mother. Haratgar. Yep. All right. Oh, nice. Okay, so Hagar, unfortunately, I mean, you've lived a long time, and all the details they start to leak out or get mixed up over time. I mean, you know what you know, and then sometimes you forget things or whatever. But the only thing you can remember about this place is just that it's called the Stonebone Mine. However, the rest of you in your short time here in Waterdeep, or perhaps listening to Durnan a little bit more, you might learn that this used to be a refuge place a long time ago from for a clan of dwarves called Clan Malarkin, and they had holed up here from some from some drow invaders. They had some pretty good time here for a while, and then nobody is quite sure the fate that might have happened to them, although there's rumors that the place has been haunted. But they're just rumors, right? And you guys aren't scared of a couple little dwarf spirits or anything, I hope.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Oh my gosh. Who you gonna call?
Lily!
Okay, and so of course, the very first thing that is gonna come to your presentation is the entrance to the place. Because mostly there's these carvings around the stone there. It almost seems like this hole kind of comes out of a little grassy hill, almost out of nowhere, and some of you have to kind of duck down to get in, but it's a little stuffy if you're tall, but you can navigate it pretty efficiently. But when you first hit the entrance, you see these carvings. It looks like a pretty illegible list of names of the first people who had come here, and they marked their names at the entrance and plunged into what may have been one of the last times they ever saw the sun. However, one thing that kind of takes your eye is you can't really read the names as they're long faded, but you can kind of pick out like these little token symbols next to each one that indicated their like profession. And being dwarves, it's mostly stuff like picks and chisels and barrels and anvils and things like that. However, there's one last thing here to see before you dip in, and no traps or anything like that. However, if anybody wants to, they can make me just a passing investigation check as you plunge in.
Station, let's see.
So we're going DC 15. So it looks like Hrothgar, and I think that might be it. Just Hrothgar this time. So
Actually, that was insight from Hrothgar.
Yeah.
Oh my bad, I was looking at your history check still at the very top. I'm so sorry. So it's still wisdom, right? No, it needs to be an investigation check, Hrothgar, because that's intelligence.
It is. Oh, it isn't. No. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, snap.
Wow.
Okay, so you guys, nobody rolled high enough to kind of notice a little particular detail, just as you went in. Just a clue, I guess. Nothing. I always feel bad turning things down like this because it's like, wah, wah. But I mean, honestly, it's not make or break, but it's just a detail. But unfortunately, this time nobody was perceptive enough. But anyways, we're gonna finally jump into the map as I'll reveal some of it. And you guys can kind of place yourselves in here in whatever order you want as you go into Stonebone Mine. So the shaft. You got something? My bad. I can size y'all down just a little, of course, too, for whoever needs it.
For some reason, I can't.
Yeah, I need to be a little bit smaller, I
My
believe.
token again.
Let's see. You can't move your token, you're saying, Rotgar?
No, I cannot. Oh, well, okay, I think I know why.
Okay, so you're good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay,
I just
so-
don't know how to reduce the size, so.
Oh, I got you
Yeah, I
on
think
that one.
except one needs to be smaller.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that's good enough, hopefully. Excuse me. Alright, so you guys descend into this dark mine shaft. Anybody that has any issues with light off the bat? I'll just go ahead and cover that real quick.
I do not have dark vision.
Because, of course, it's going to get pretty dark in here at certain points, as you'd imagine,
Yeah.
so y'all may kind of think about how you would handle that.
Let's see, I have a...
I have dark vision, so if I need to go first, I will.
That works.
You can always light a torch or something like that, I'm sure. You know, pretty standard adventure pack would probably come with the torch, you know. There's always things that, you know, pros and cons, or maybe one of you has light or whatever, if you can help each other out, however y'all want to figure it out. But y'all can type that out or whatever if you want. But just to move on, you come into this area, this dark mine shaft, and you're immediately hit with a couple options, you realize, as you see a pretty long earthen ramp that's been pretty well stamped down to be pretty firm, perhaps braced with some wood and stone as well, and it descends slowly down around a cavern all the way down around to the bottom, some feet, you know, distance in between, you know, if you fell off or something like that. In addition, though, to save some time, you can see how, you know, instead of this, you know, about 120-foot fall or walk, I guess, down this ramp, they've changed it to where there's a little bit of a pulley system fixed with the ramp. And so I will go ahead and reveal this last little bit. I could probably go ahead and just reveal this whole section of the map. Okay, and so as you guys see this, you realize you have a bit of a decision to make, as it looks like you could kind of investigate the elevator a little bit there that you see that descends down, or you could just forgo that completely and take the old ramp down. It's totally up to you. And I guess, yeah, just what y'all let me know. Y'all can discuss that and let me know.
Can Raston check out the elevator, see what it's about?
You bet you can. You bet you can.
I'll go with the majority decision, so.
Okay, so just to check the
Does the
elevator.
elevator look like Holmes' bugbear?
Yep. So if you just want to check it out, it does look like that. It'd probably take about a minute to take a trip down, a little bit longer to pull it back up. It wouldn't be hard to work it, to operate it, but it would require one person to be at the top to lower the others down. And as far as how many, it looks like it could carry about 3 medium-sized creatures. However, if you're small, you know, every 2 smalls could count for 1 medium. However you want to do the math there to figure it out. And that's per trip. And go ahead and give me an investigation check while you're there, Raston.
Alright. That was rare.
Nice. So as you're sitting there kind of looking over this, and you may start calling out some details back to your friend that like, hey, this could actually work, and I bet this many could fit in it, and so on and so forth. You realize there's a crack off to the side, kind of located over here on the other side of Segalian, in the wall here. And if you could call it out to him, or you could walk over. You're the one who discovered it, so I'll leave that to you to take a closer look. But whoever, I guess, who'd want to do that?
I'll call it out to Segalian.
Okay.
So you peek your head in the crack there, Segalian, and you see that there's a lot of dark blue scratches in here. And when you look in a little bit further, you see what's clearly a sets of bones, probably enough to be at least a few skeletons, maybe. Maybe even 5 or 6 skeletons worth of bones in here, and they're all dark blue, same as your teeth were from earlier. And also, in addition to that, they seem a bit fossilized, but they're also covered in this light strands of rotting blue lichen. Sorry, I was probably saying that wrong earlier.
Ooh, hey, that's a source of lichen. Guys, this has the lichen that the boss man wanted. But it's all covered on skeletons, so yeah.
This isn't ominous at all.
And I don't know how to get at it either. It's through this little crack that's way smaller than bugbear size.
Well, I'm small.
Oh, okay.
You think 3'4" can fit in it?
I don't know. How big is this crack?
So it's pretty large enough to reach into. It's more so just kind of noticing it in the gloom that is a bit more the challenge. But I mean, you could reach in if you wanted to, or Lily could come in and kind of maybe with a slight boost. She could reach in pretty easily. It doesn't.
I have very long arms, so I could try to reach in.
Okay, perfect. You're the one who's been there and all. So you reach your hand in. As you do, a hand grabs you back, and as you kind of rear back, I'm just gonna move you back for like 5 feet. The bones and stuff start spilling out, all in all, and we'll just roll a straight initiative from here. And let me pull that out. As you realize that these lichen covered bones were set to guard the entrance here, probably you'd assume, as they all start spilling out at you. And there, as you saw earlier, there
That's
seems
huge.
to be I'm gonna shrink them down. Seems to be a good 6 of them.
Oh, they're giants.
Ah! Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Oh man, and they know how to cast spells. They reduced me.
Okay, let me get their just stats in real quick. Alrighty. So I may have to kind of. We'll say this guy's he's hanging halfway out the hole. Gets a little crowded in here, but I'm sure y'all change that really quickly. Is this one of the characters that's really small? Did I shrink you down on accident?
Yeah, you cast reduce on me.
Oh, whoops! We're all a bit shocked on that one.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to make a save or anything. It was just done.
Y'all didn't know we got these lair actions or whatever. Alright, so clearly they're all mostly there in front of the crack where the crack was, but some of them have kind of just shuffled past, and then they kind of come up together from pieces as you look on in horror. And then let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Who am I missing for turn order? Other than these foos?
Lily.
Okay, let me get you. And then, what was your initiative, Lily?
5.
Hey, you weren't expecting this at all. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, let's see. They got a pretty. See what their good initiative can be. Oh snap! All right, without further ado, Raston, you're up.
Okay, well, looks like I'll try to hit this guy here next to me. And they just, there's nothing special about them other than skeletons. They wearing any type of markings or tunics on their clothing that symbolize anything?
So it's funny that you say that, because as you kind of like examine them before you strike, first off, I'll have you make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, before I attack? Okay.
Yeah. So it turns out, just to get it out of the way, anybody within 5 feet will have to do a con save at the start of their turn. So try not to let me forget, of course, if you don't mind. Because I probably will. And you look like you saved by a long shot. So the thing you notice first is just this putrid smell coming off of these long decayed, fossilized skeletons. And then let me see really quick if they have anything a little more detailing. Not really, just that they are clearly from Dwarven, based off of the skeletal structure and things like that. It's pretty easy to determine that it'd be from a dwarf. I mean, there's no mistaking that usually. These are definitely dwarf skeletons, and they're also very dark blue in color. And of course, they have that lichen covering them. But other than that, they're pretty nondescript. Other than some razor sharp claws at the end of their skeletal fingertips. But yep, what would you like to do?
I'll just rage and attack the one to the left of me twice, and I missed horribly.
Okay, so let's see, you had a 10 and a 13.
Yeah.
The 13 actually will hit, so that's 10 damage total.
That's correct. Magical, if that matters.
And then, okay, 10 damage total. Good job.
And that's all I can do. I'll just try to figure these creatures out.
So as shards of the bone and lichen kind of like spray against the wall behind and some off the kind of cliff beside you, you realize that with a good, even just 10 damage, it's a pretty hefty blow to these guys. And if you say that's it for you?
That's correct.
Well, that dude you just clap, he gonna try to clap back. And so, yeah, he turns towards you with... I don't ever see why... Oh, I guess you could do more damage like that. But all right, so he will try to hit you with his claws. And I'm going to have a good old 16 to hit you.
That's a miss.
Okay, so you kind of almost feel like the claws kind of like rake upon you a little bit, but you're just so raged out right now that like it just doesn't even break through your rock hard skin. And that's
Am I thinking that because of the way they make me feel from their putridness, that if they were to claw me, they would poison me as well?
Just roll me a little insight on that with advantage. You would most certainly think that.
All right, I'll try to shout out to the rest of my party members.
And
before I go down.
The other one will come up and try to do like his friend do, and that's going to be a 18 on that one.
Nope, that misses.
Okay,
AC's
so
right.
we'll say like on the first one, you kind of just like feel the kind of like light graze of the claws as they try to grasp towards you, but on the second one you're able to deftly dodge out of the way, and that's when you see the claws like right in front of your face kind of snatching, and you see that they're kind of laced with that poison, and you're sure able to tell your friends about that. And we'll go to Segalian.
Okay, con save.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Big.
All good on the con save.
All right. I'm
Putrid
going
stench
to. Oh, go ahead.
No, nothing. I was just saying putrid stench rolls over you. Sorry.
Okay. I'm going to grapple attack this guy.
Okay, so opposing.
Yeah,
I can do
actually, I'm
that.
going to shove him off.
Okay, so I can do acrobatics or athletics, right?
Yep. They're real bad.
Which looks like they're pretty much pretty similar for me. So let's just see. Oh, I rolled an at one, baby. So I don't think.
All right.
I don't think
I want to
a
knock
4.
him down.
And so
Drop him down off
you're
the
gonna knock
ledge.
him. So I would say.
I can either grapple him and just drop him with my reach or shove him either way.
Okay, however you want to flavor it, and then I'm trying to calculate distance because it's a 120-foot fall down, and I mean, let's see, you're right there on the edge. He could land below, but it's more fun if he doesn't. So how about you roll me out? What is that? 12d6. Oh man, I think that's actually gonna do it. As that's just a few more HP than he actually has. Any kind of extra flavor you want to describe him with? It was this dude right
No,
next to you.
because I barely look and I go grab this guy next of my other attack.
Okay.
I'm just throwing guys off like I don't know. There's a movie where that happens.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And so, wow, that's probably gonna. Yep, you win. You beat
And
by
I
15.
chuck him off.
Okay, so this one we'll give him a little bit of a saving grace, perhaps, and we'll just we'll throw. Well, go ahead and roll a d20, and we'll see if that might save him, just by chance. Okay,
Yep.
so he'll fall down to this side instead of deep below, he'll fall over to the side. So he'll still take, for one, he'll be pretty far away from you guys, and he'll also take 3d6. Okay. All right. So you just hear bones crunch as he hits 30 feet below you guys, and he's most certainly he'd be prone, and he'll also be like, I mean, you can see the distance it takes to get back up, so he's pretty boned on that. Anything else?
Yeah, I'm going to step of the wind to take the disengage action as a bonus action.
Okay.
And as a monk, I'm going to go right here, and I'm basically going to try to swing and jump onto this next level below. And if I need to use my slow fall stuff, I can do that.
So 120 feet.
No, I'm trying to get to the next level. So I'm basically
Okay.
want a monkey hang
So
onto
let's
this
see.
and swing onto here, under him.
So I guess that'd be about a good, like, we could, if that's 90 feet right there, then that could arguably be like 50 or 60 feet, maybe. I say 50 feet right
Oh,
there.
wow.
Then.
Okay. So there's only like 2 circumferences all the way down? I just didn't know how many there were.
We'd have to kind of
I would-
imagine it by what's given here. But
yeah,
yeah,
so I was
I guess that
guessing
makes more
4
sense.
because this was 120 and that was 90. So I was like, oh, there's 4 circles.
Okay.
Maybe there's fewer. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we can do 3 or 4-ish, but if you want to go down to, we'll do 3 just to keep it simple.
Yeah. So I got 25 hit points of resistance to it if I use my reaction, which I will. So that probably is pretty good for, I think even 60 feet I'll be all right.
Okay. Yeah, I know those monks. I know you're really capable. So do you need to roll anything, or we can both assume you're good?
Well, you can roll whatever fall damage you want, but yeah. I got
so let's
25
see. So
resistance.
you're going. If you want to roll it, you can 66.
Yeah. All right, and I negate it to 0 and land on my feet with a thunk. And,
Namaste.
All right, I'm
Okay.
next.
Awesome, dude. Okay, so it's a GM layer now, but it'll be this one sad fellow over here, and I guess he's got Rotgar in front of him, so why not? That's who he'll swing for. He's got those claws coming at you as he just like his made kind of like a almost the scraps of a word in Dwarvish as he tries to rake you with his claws. I don't think a 13 is gonna hit you though, so there's that.
No, and he has disadvantage too.
Huh?
I've got a displacement cloak.
Oh, so he would have disadvantage.
Yeah,
Okay, well
as
then
long
he's
as he doesn't hit.
Yeah, he's gonna miss anyways on that for that first roll. So, you got another dude behind you though. We'll see if he can do any better. It's a disadvantage roll.
Every attack is a disadvantage on me until I get hit.
Okay, so
If I
here's
get
this-
hit until my next turn, the normals are normal.
Okay, so another one at disadvantage, and it took it from a 23 to a 9. So I don't think that 9 is going to hit you there, as you feel your abilities just kind of pulling you away, and it almost looks like they're about to just nail right into it with these claws, and then a moment they even kind of look perplexed as, well, one of them didn't really even get that close, but the other one, he almost did. And so that'll be it for their turn. Hagar, what you got?
It's not.
No, I'm not. Okay. So I can see all of these guys down here from where I'm at, correct? I will then just assumedly be sneaking at this time, or no, because that's what I do all the time.
You could use your bonus action to hide if you're a rogue, right? Or
No, I mean afterwards, but yeah, okay. I will just do longbow.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Okay. We only be 14 then, since I'm not actually sneaking.
Okay, so
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, like, I would be sneaking as I was walking in here, but mechanically I was not sneaking yet, so I don't know.
that's okay. This is a pretty minor encounter, but if yeah, we can talk that out for later on too.
Yeah, then I will bonus action sneak, so I will roll stealth. 26. I will back up here.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, very good. So, pretty similar blow to what was dealt earlier, where you can tell that, like, it's chipping away a good third of their health, give or take, by the amount of bone chips flying away. And Lily, let's see what you can do.
Hit one of these guys.
Okay. Hit him. Oh yeah, you guys are having no issue nailing these guys. They're a little bit slow moving, as you can see. It's been a long time since there was some actual muscle and tendon on there. Hold.
Oh, that's a big one.
So that was for this dude over to the left.
Yeah.
So you killed him with 1 to spare. How do you want to describe his death?
The arrow hits with so much force he just disintegrates. Bone shards just everywhere.
No, there's like light peppered flakes in the air, and you don't mean to, but you realize that you accidentally have your tongue out like it's snow or something, and some of this blue lichen falls on it, and you realize that if you were to chew up some of the blue lichen, it probably would give you some of the same effects as if you drank it. Just a little something on there as you're in this blue wonderland. Oh, that's not snow. Oh, crap.
And then I guess I'll take my movement to here.
Okay.
And that's it.
So you pass by the form of Hrothgar there in the gloom. Of course, you can make him out perfectly. And you see a little harmless little skeleton on the other side of him. Harmless. Hrothgar, what are you going to do to it?
I still have to do the construct, right?
Oh, that's true. Right. Yep. Thanks for reminding me.
Shouldn't have.
Oh, dang. Okay, so you will fail. Let me double check. Looks like you're going to be poisoned until the start of your next turn.
So poison is attack with disadvantage, right? Or something like that?
Yeah.
Alright. So I will recklessly hit the skeleton then.
Okay, so just a straight roll then, as you
Yeah.
go crazy.
So I start spamming the halberd on his skull. So here's the first. Didn't mean to put the remove the rage.
Okay,
Just
but
in
the
case.
22 is good enough to hit
Yes.
for sure.
So that's the first one.
And the
That's
fire
the second
damage.
one. Yeah, because it's a yield. I use the yield stone on the halberd.
Okay, just checking. Nice. And then
And
the second
the-
attack
and
that
the last.
lands. You say you have 3, and they all are gonna.
Yeah.
No, the third one will miss, but the first 2 definitely land. So that's 14, and then another 27, 30 total damage on this fellow right next to you.
Yep.
You wouldn't believe it. Actually, I'll screenshot it to you if you want to test it. But he has exactly 30 hit points. I'll usually average their health out to have some a little lower, some a little higher, so you guys can't guess it every time. And this guy, he just happens to have 30 health, and you just happen to do 30 damage. So congratulations. How would you like to describe his death?
Oh, I first slash half of his skeleton on the ground, and then I'll use his head like a baseball, no, like a golf ball to smash it onto the hole.
Happy Gilmore,
Yeah.
teeing off.
Bye, sucker.
That's awesome, man. And yeah, so the head just like goes flying and then descends down into the hole as you realize you just got a hole in one. Let me make sure I'm not going to delete him on the order. Nope. So he's gone. Good job. Y'all making pretty short work of this, as expected. That being said, you done there, Rotgar?
Yeah. Since I already used the third attack without knowing that he was dead, I can't use it again, so I'll just wait for my next turn.
Okay. So we'll go. Yeah, if it would have landed as a hit, I would allow you to go hit somebody else, but it looked like it'd be a miss. I would just leave it a miss. But if
Yeah. Anyway, I said I used it before knowing the enemy was dead, so it doesn't count.
oh, it's okay.
So
Usually I'll
it
retcon
wasted
something like
anyway.
that for you, but no worries. You did a freaking fantastic job. I'm gonna have to look into that halberd situation you got there. But for now, Raston, sorry.
Unsafe.
Gotcha. Thank you. That's a beautiful pass.
Then I'll attack this one to the north of me, up here.
Okay.
Routine for 12.
13 will hit him. Y'all are, you're pretty much hitting him nail on the head for the AC. It's 13, so good job. You are raging too, so that's a whopping old 12, and then another 13 on top of that, so 25 total.
That's correct.
On the top guy. So it looks like, if you had one more to add on top, it would most certainly be enough. As it's like his skeleton form is just battered down to shambles. And that'll be it.
Yep, that's all I do.
Okay, beautiful. You guys just chopping them up. Bone chips flying everywhere. And that being said, he has one middle finger left that he's going to try to drive towards you with this guy. Looks like a 20. I was going to say 21. Oh, who am I kidding? An 11. An 11's not going to hit you. But let's see if a... this one might with the 21. Well, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, got one. I got one. I think this might be the first time. All right, so let's see. The claws kind of raking up against you. This will be slashing damage. Looks like 11 slashing total, and then of course you already see it coming. You'll have to make that con save, which you pass beautifully. So I'll just take that damage, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
And then that's their turn. So Segalian, you're down below a little ways.
Yeah. It's 60 feet below these guys, so I probably can't affect them. But can I get a beat on him with my longbow?
Yeah, you sure could. Definitely.
All right, I'm gonna swap that out and shoot 2 arrows at that guy.
Okay.
It is not magic.
Okay. These guys' wishes they had more resistances. That's going to be a definite hit for 11 damage. He's already taken some, and oh my goodness. I'll flavor this in a funny way. Okay, so he's on death's door.
Okay, so I'm out of attacks. I'm gonna then pivot so I'm under him on the level below.
Okay.
I think that's right. No, I'd have to go the other way, wouldn't I? Wait.
You could
this
probably
way's down.
climb
Sorry.
too, being the monk.
Yeah, okay, I'd do that. I'll just get level below him so he
Okay.
can't get me. I'll be right here.
All right, and then funny
Mostly if I
enough,
can beat on these guys.
It's actually not his turn quite yet, but it doesn't really matter what order. Well, his other friend, yeah, it is his turn because the other one already died too. So all alone. So this guy down here, he was at death's door, and there's no need to hold us up anymore for this encounter, I don't think. So it's funny enough, as you duck down underneath the ledge on the ramp below, you hear kind of like a groan and like a thump as the remains of the skeleton. It was like just it had nothing left. It's already dragging itself. It drags itself right off the cliff, kind of trying to get towards you, and it just boom smacks in the ground dead. And then
I kick him on the way down.
Then we'll go to Hagar. You got two, kick him right, the pelvic bone. And then Hagar, what you got? You are currently hidden. These two dudes are across the way, not paying any mind to you.
Yep, I will just do about a bit if needed, and then do that. Oof. That is, like, I assume it's a miss.
So if you're hidden, what bonus is that giving you?
To attack? I don't. Oh, I did advantage.
Okay, see, I thought so. I was just
Getting
asking.
that. I forgot that for a whole session the other day. I'm like, oh yeah, I did advantage, don't I?
It's okay. I was playing a monk myself, and Segalian, you would have been embarrassed with what I did. I forgot my whole unarmed strike situation. I thought you had to hit once to get the unarmed strike, and so there's so many attacks that I was not taking. But anyways, yeah. So that was one.
I don't actually have any bonus action.
Hey man, it happens sometimes.
I will.
You get the better roll later when you need it.
Yeah, I will just hide. So stealth.
Okay, Lily. You see an arrow kind of whiz overhead, almost grazing the top of the ceiling above you, and then kind of planting nearby. Good stealth too. And then what are you gonna do, Lily?
Fire an arrow at this guy, I think.
Okay, I'm going for the top guy. He's looking pretty battered after his recent attack from your half-orc friend.
I assume 20 hits.
Oh yeah, nice. Okay, so he is dead. If you want to flavor that at all.
It hits the base of his skull and pins his head against the wall.
And Raston, as you just kind of, you're fending off blows and smashing into this skeleton, all of a sudden you just stop. So, as the skeleton is like pinned right next to you on the wall. It's like eyes look like it's almost eye level with you, where earlier it was probably a few feet short.
Nice.
And then anything else from Lily after a devastating blow? Is that kill number 2? Or is that the first?
Yeah.
Nice.
That ends my turn.
Okay, so Hrothgar, sounds like you might.
Hrothgar take a foot ahead of him, and he starts slamming the halberd on the skeleton, saying, "I'll make fraud out of you." And he recklessly hits too. Since he has rage, he doesn't have to come close to with the dot.
Okay, so you no worries about anything there.
Yep.
I ended up taking the wrong one off, so this one actually.
Second one,
a bit more health than this.
Third one.
Okay, so that's a hit. That's a hit, and that's a hit. So you got 11, 26, 36 damage total. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, you did 10 more than he actually had left. So, joom. Yeah, that extra hit again. Yeah, you're one hit too many, man. I guess that's a good problem to have, though. Okay, so you guys wrap up this encounter pretty easily. Some tier 2 balas up in this house for sure. I'm glad to see you guys flex your skills instead of just cheering your old Goliath friend on. Man, I was hoping for some sweet resolution to that, and then I freaking lost. I was like, damn it! But all right, good job, y'all. And so now you're free to kind of proceed downward in any way that you see fit. You might argue that there's not as much of an issue for the the elevator at this point, but it's still there if you want to take it, and it's up to you guys to discuss that. And also, you got Segalian ask if anybody's injured.
Nah.
And so Segalian kind of calls up, like, "Hey, I'm already down here. Come on." Okay. So let's see. He was already down there, and then who went down first? Was it Hagar or was it Lily? Looks like Hagar's a little bit further ahead, so we'll just play it like that. If Hagar, I'm gonna move you guys back just slightly.
I would be in the back. That's what I was trying to do.
Okay, well let's just line up here then with Segalian, if you don't mind. That's probably the best place. He's in the.
There we go.
Okay, so this is a pretty rough line of how you are going to go forward, and so as you proceed all the way down to here, and kind of line y'all up. You know, man, what's this game without a little danger? But of course, there's always a way to avoid it, you know. But it's going to be up to Lily here at the start. As you guys go down the ramp, first off, you notice that it's been carved from like floor to ceiling with these murals, and you can go ahead and make me. Well, no, you just kind of get the sense as you go down that it seems to be like as you descend further down, it's like you're going back in time. So the story would start at the bottom and rise up, it seems. But it's kind of hard to piece together as you know you're shuffling down and stuff in the dark and everything. But it seems to kind of be a story laid out by these dwarves that were trapped here. Some of it even like beginning possibly even with like some lore of like dwarfish creation and ending kind of almost like with some of their story of what happened here. But you know, you're kind of passing through pretty fast, but you get a sense of that as you go. And then you may or may not see a bit of refurbished ramp a little bit ahead. Lily, go ahead and make me a well, actually just go ahead and make me a dex save. Yeah. So you don't really notice that this ramp has been refurbished a little bit as you guys are kind of looking in awe at all this artwork, and you just happen to be the first one to roll through, and that's going to be under as your feet suddenly fall out from underneath you, and you fall down 10 feet into this hole to the bottom here that kind of like empties out at the very bottom. But first you're a little bit deeper in a rut where there's been a spike pit set up, and so as you fall down into it, you're going to take a little bit of damage from the fall. Looks like five bludgeoning damage for the fall, and then also it's kind of funny the way they have this laid out. I get to make 2 attacks against you as an inanimate object. Oh my god, I rolled double 3s for them, so I don't think a 9 or a 9 is going to hurt you. So as you fall down 10 feet, you kind of like twist your body in air and clearly see these very sharp points looming up ahead of you, and you're able to kind of contort to where you easily slip past them, but then you realize like, oh crap, I'm still gonna hit something, as you just kind of face plant into the ground below. But you pick yourself up, just the 5 bludgeoning, and after you do so, everyone else a little bit distance away, we'll put you right there. You realize you're going to have to climb out of this. If you want to go ahead and we can take a quick round real quick to kind of resolve that.
Athletics or acrobatics?
You can do athletics.
How far across is it?
Jesus Christ.
So it doesn't look like it's too far across that you would be able to easily jump over it. But something will kind of complicate that as you see Lily kind of trying to scramble up the side, and as she does so, she kind of like starts to skid back down, and then as she kind of hits the bottom though, as you realize her footing just wasn't quite right, you hear a bit of a splash or like a stick as you may call out to Lily that oil is starting to kind of fill up in the bottom of the pit, just like a light bit of oil, enough to make it sticky. And when you guys kind of realize as you get a little closer, you hear a soft gurgle as there's little holes in the edge of the ramp that are like slowly gurgling this oil down below. Basically, it's going to make it a little harder to jump over and also to climb out for her now from this point forward. So you guys can...
How far is it to the ground?
Only 10 feet down below.
So
to the
it's just
ground would probably be like a good 30 feet, I'd say, from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll just jump. I'll just jump and slow fall down the side.
Oh, maybe that would make it too easy then. Let's say 60 feet. My bad.
All right. Well, first,
Which
okay,
you
if I'm not
honestly
going to do
probably
that,
could still do that. But
I'll lay down the bullwhip and try to let Lily grab it so I can pull her back up onto the not oily side.
okay, so first go ahead and make me an athletics check with advantage for you first, just to brace yourself on the oily side. Okay, so you're good. You feel your feet kind of give, but you're able to find purchase there and lower your whip down in the form of a rope. And Lily, if you want to try to get back out, or I could even give you one where he could like swing you to the other side, so you're kind of free of this mess. Go ahead and make me a athletics check with advantage. Oh, good God, yes. I was so hoping you'd make this. You already made it on that. So, whew, that's a tough one, too, as far as this oil goes. So, you're able to...
Sweet. Gotta do a double backflip and land on my feet.
Boom! And you're kind of a little bit, covered in oil, but not too much worse for wear. Maybe a slight bruise from earlier. That being said, everybody else can try to make it across now. But if you're just going to try to jump across, you will have to make... let me double check to make sure. So if you want to, you can jump across with advantage. Athletics check with advantage. But the oil there makes it pretty slick.
I just jumped down the hole.
Can I try acrobatics, or does it have to be athletics?
It looks like it has to be athletics on this one. So.
Okay.
I jumped.
Perhaps if you fail the first one, we could do athletics for acrobatics for the second one. Okay, so we'll go. So Segalian just kind of jumps down into the pit, and of course that's going to reduce any damage. However, I'll just take a couple oops, my bad, I threw that on accident. I'll take a couple spike attacks at you with disadvantage, since you're able to kind of float down how you need to, and looks like they both miss, of course. My goodness, I got some of that grease got on my dice.
I just went 25.
Okay, sorry about that. He wanted to explain something to me, but okay. Unfortunately for Hagar, so
18 is not enough.
Sadly, it's not with this oil. It's pretty slick. This is a tier 2 trap, baby. But so obviously Segalian, you're down. Hagar, you made it across with the 22, and then in Hagar you were just under. So you will fall in, and let me just... Looks like I'm going to miss both my attacks against you with my spikes, so you'll take just a d6. So just 4 bludgeoning damage as you kind of like land in the ground in between a couple spikes with a bit of a thump. Kind of in the impression that Lily had left before she was flicked out over to the other side. And so we got 2 of you down in, and Hrothgar was able to nimbly jump across. No worse for wear. How do you if Hagar first? We already talked about it. If you want to do acrobatics now, you can, and someone could use the help action, I'm sure. So you can take advantage.
What? Okay.
I know it's gonna be rough. All right, so here's what I'll take. As you're just falling back
I got
in.
50 foot of hemp and rope.
Yeah, I have a rope and I have the bittens or bitons.
All right, hey,
Can I use those?
I gave myself just one last little disadvantage attack against you, and we're not going to drag it out or anything, or make you roll a million times for something. So, how about you, Segalian? Do you want to go ahead and take a turn first?
To do what?
Just to get
No.
out.
Oh, I
You
thought
can-
of jumping
You can
down the
climb.
pit and do it.
You jump. I thought you jumped into it. My bad.
No, I jumped down the pit.
Oh, just down the 60 feet or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Oh.
that's what the 66 was about.
Oh, okay. So remind me. I could roll the 66, obviously, but
Okay. I rolled it, but you can re-roll it,
oh
whatever.
no. Okay, so that's the 20, and then you have a 25 to negate. So you're right. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
So you already did it all. Thank you. You're good. So you're safe, of course. And so, with a little bit of extra help, and hey, his old bones, he's doing the best he can. Hagar, you're able to heave him up out of there, and you think, man, what else does this place have in store for us? And oh my goodness, wouldn't you know that? Let's see. I think I will. I'm just gonna leave out one of the bonus objectives, and then we'll do one of the other ones. I think we should be able to fit that in pretty well. So you hit the bottom of the ramp, and you realize that you're in the beginning of what must and can only be a series of endless tunnels. It's kind of a rough-hewn oval shape that you're at. And it seems to kind of branch off, and you kind of just have to take a random stab at where you're gonna go.
Sorry. Whichever way we do, I'm going to use prestidigitation to make a marking of some description, a line of where on the wall that we know if we somehow go in circles, so we know if we've been this way already.
So go ahead and do me like an Arcana check.
Okay. With my -1, 9.
Okay, just for you, Hagar, follow that up with the survival check for me.
Yes! How did I do that?
So while you're not able to determine anything magical per se, you are able to tell that, like, as before with that ramp,
New record.
the murals that are depicted here are all sorts of things. Not only is it like a depiction of their daily lives and the trials and tribulations and their history before they got here, and then some of the things they were dealing with here, perhaps deeper down, and kind of even some of their demise and things at the hands of Drow. But you also notice that there's kind of clear instructions here and there that mark different ways to go. And you see one way that kind of indicates down a tunnel that seems to lead towards like a garden area. You see one that like seems to lead off towards like a work area. And then there's also just more that are a little hard to distinguish just right off the bat. They would kind of clue together with other ones that you'd find deeper in the tunnels and things. But you get the sense that they're going to be pretty branching throughout here. And then how about
So we should harvest some of these skeletal guys while we have a little breather.
and while you guys do, you can take a short rest or something if you wanted to, I suppose. But you can get a couple 2 doses of the lichen from that. Seems like you may be able to eat it to use it if you wanted to, or bring that back to Durnan if you don't find a good source of it type stuff. And so we'll do just a few more checks as we go. I had Hagar there, so let's see. We could do let's do a little bit of redemption for Lily first. How about that? Is you guys kind of pick a random direction, and you can kind of specify that more so in just a moment. But you kind of pluck off down a tunnel, and every once in a while you have to make a different direction choice, and perhaps with a little bit of Hagar's kind of like, hey, there's a little sign there or whatever. You might be able to get more towards a little bit closer of a direction, like if you wanted to go towards the garden listed place, you could, or more towards like the work area type place. You can tell me that if you want, of course. As a group you can decide, but just for now, as you're going through, all of a sudden you realize that this place is pretty unstable. And you start to feel like this crack above you and some dust and a little bit of rumbling underneath your feet. And then the tunnel starts to cave in around you. We'll go ahead and say that Lily, you're in the lead as you're trying to. All of a sudden, everyone's looking to you to navigate through as the tunnel starts to shift and change and get tighter and more narrow, and you can kind of squeeze and pop in little places and direct your friends as the dust kind of makes it choking and hard to navigate. And as you do so, go ahead and make me a dex save, Lily. Awesome. Okay. This was either going to be kind of mean to you or portray you as the hero. And so with a beautiful roll like you have, you are now the hero as this cave-in just smashes down all around you. And you have no warning whatsoever as you feel these rocks like just clattering and beating down on you. And you would have taken full damage, but you only take half as you save. But you will take a little bludgeoning damage as these rocks kind of rain down on you. Let me roll it out. Okay, so you'll take 10 bludgeoning damage there. And then which sucks, I know, but what you did for your friends, though, is you gave them a bit more warning. So I'll need everybody else to make the same save, but with advantage. So everyone else will take a dex save with advantage, thanks to Lily, because she took the first blow.
Thanks, Lily, for the sacrifice.
You're welcome. Thanks for the initial heal of 5. Yeah. Appreciate that. Doesn't hurt as much.
Okay, so some of you are going to feel a little beat down as you get it kind of trapped in this cave-in. However, looks like Hagar, Segalian, you'll both take 20 bludgeoning.
No.
And then Raston, you'll take the 10 as well as Lily did. And then am I missing 2, 3, 4, 5? That's
Really?
it.
With a dex save of 24, still getting bludgeoned?
It just cuts it down to half. Yeah. I know.
Oh, gotcha.
This one's kind of cruel, but I guess when you're trapped in a little tunnel, there's probably not much escape. You're just reducing the damage on this one.
Sure, it's all good. I just didn't really know what was going on.
Just a little bit behind the screen. I know that seems a little bit unfair, but if we did the other bonus objective that we're not doing, just randomly, it allows you to kind of like strengthen the tunnels a little bit, and it would prevent this, which maybe I shouldn't even point that out, I guess, in the end, since we're not going to do it. But, there's always a point to bonus objectives. If you're not getting treasure, you might prevent a cave-in or something. So I don't want to seem like a dick. That's the only reason I say that. But
No, it's all good. I mean, if I wasn't my character, I'd probably be dead by a bunch of rocks from a cave-in. So this is good. 10's easy.
And I guess if you guys want to, you find your way a little bit blocked. So let's take a couple steps back. And originally, what kind of piqued your interest as far as what had been said, or were you kind of just stabbing in the dark? I know there's some scratchings in the murals and things that talk about a garden that's kind of was that they would cultivate back in the day, as well as perhaps more like a residential area.
There is some druid down here, the dwarf druid, but I don't know where to find him. They had all the lichen.
That's true. You would be looking for him, but no real indication on the walls as far as he goes. So I guess as you guys were going forward, you find the way blocked, but you're able to kind of clear the rocks. It takes a little bit more extra time than you would want. When you do, though, you see kind of a trail of blue fungus leading off from a tunnel off to the right, and it's not quite the same as the lichen as you look, but it's kind of giving you the same vibe. And so you kind of get the sense that if you plunged forward the way you were going, you probably end up hitting more like the residential work area type that you had seen the markings for. But then you're kind of caught off to the side too, which seems to with Hagar's work earlier, you can see that it seems to indicate more towards the garden area, I suppose. And so it's really up to y'all. I guess not to prod y'all along too much. It's supposed to be more like a bit sandboxy, but I guess just to muscle through it, probably would go to the garden, I guess. That seems like the next logical for story-wise. So unless anybody has anything to say about that, that's probably where the druid would be if y'all want to go see him. Garden, druid. I mean, I'm not feeding you too much info here. You know, druid, garden. That's
my vote. See druids.
Anyone could draw that inference. But so you have your tasks in mind. You know, not only do you know you're looking for where these undertakers are down here, and perhaps clearing them out if you can, but also just figuring out where their home actually is. But you also have been tasked by Durnan to find this replenishable source of lichen. So you decide to go down and check out this garden place, and hopefully, you know, let's see, plants equals plants, hopefully. You know, that makes sense. But you eventually come across a little hovel. It's like stacked stone, and it's held together with dried mud. It's clear that it used to be a once pleasant garden all around it, but it's now been kind of overgrown and full of weeds and things. You approach the hovel, and you can kind of look in to see that there's haphazard stacks of trash and useless like trinkets and junk everywhere and things. But you also see a very pale-skinned dwarf, not wearing much more than a loincloth, and he's pretty dirty and stuck up and stuff. He hears the knock, and he comes out, and he's, oh, visitors! Wow, that's amazing! Hi. Welcome. I'm Lim Corgan, as some like to call me, though. I'm Bluetooth, and he gives you this big old toothy smile, and, you know, granted there are quite a few missing, but the ones that are there are this dark blue color. Let's see, who's someone who hasn't rolled in a little while? Who do y'all think? How about you, Haratgar? As you kind of start to, you guys might kind of pile into this little hovel, and you see these precarious piles all around. And most of them are just poorly carved, like figurines and things like that, cracked jars, half-eaten food, and it's all just, you see, he doesn't really trash much and keeps a lot. And but off in the distance, you see a couple more doses of lichen. Looks like it'd be a pretty hefty amount to take back, especially with what you have already gathered. You know, those two piles would already definitely satisfy Durnan. It wouldn't be the replenishable source he wants, Dad? But it would be enough to satisfy the initial job.
Dad.
Sorry about that. So there's a pretty unpleasant smell in here, and you realize it's not just from the stacks of trash, but also probably from Lim Bluetooth himself. He smells like wet, rotting plants. He probably hasn't showered in forever, and he kind of spits out a little bit of blue lichen in his mouth. Oh, my bad. Sorry, I see you're typing there. And so he sees your blue fangs. Ah, a partaker of the lichen. No, that's amazing. Oh, Durnan, you say? He wants more? Yeah, he did seem to, he always sees a dime to earn where he can, or a silver piece, I guess, is what it should have said, but, yeah, yeah, a goblin house, that's funny. I do get along with goblins pretty well, actually. Maybe there's something to that. But, hey, I noticed you got them blue teeth there, and you talk about Durnan. Well, let me... there's probably a couple things I should fill you in there. And he's like scratching his butt and kind of like sniffs his finger. Let me tell you. I discovered this mine some decades ago, and the blue lichen was here everywhere. The weird thing is, though, it seems to grow on the bones of these ancient goblins. Did I say goblins? You're putting the word in my head. I meant dwarves. Yeah, these ancient dwarves that were here, their bones seem to produce this lichen. It's so strange. Well, I've been kind of obsessed with reclaiming the history and the secrets in these carvings here. But unfortunately, I'm getting old, and as he moves around, you realize you hear this like grating sound that is actually like his bones moving against each other inside his body. You realize this dwarf is anciently old. I can't really get around here as much as I used to, but hopefully you could do that where I haven't been able to. Maybe I can get these old stone bones to rest. That arthritis. Now look, I know this place like the back of my hand, and I can tell you about a lot of these spectacular murals and things that you're seeing. You had to have been able to read some of the signs to get this far, but I could probably fill you in on a couple more details, and I could probably help you get that lichen as well. Now I want to tell you, there's a little tunnel back behind me that it'll lead you out there to the lichen, but it's kind of I don't want to say sacred, maybe that's not the right word, but haunted, possessed, maybe that's probably a little more appropriate. Most of the ghosts of these ancient dwarves have kind of passed on, but there's this one, I think it was the last one to die from what she yells at me all the time. We've had a couple run-ins, and one time she even possessed me. Before you know it, I found myself up at the top of the pit, about to jump in. I barely stopped myself in time. Whew. These old bones, it took me forever to get down here, but I can tell you the ghost, she calls herself Rizzlerum Caskview, and she's back there in that tunnel. I kind of made my house here. There's a whole heap of them skeletons, and they're all covered in that lichen, and, I've been able to get in there and get a little pinch here and there without her getting me, but she's rather protective of it. That could very well be what Durnan wants is a big old collection of the lichen like that, but just be careful dealing with that ghost. The only other thing I could say is if you kind of figure that out and come back to me, I'll share what I've learned about this area with you. And I'll send you on your way to whatever else you got to do, I suppose. What do you guys think?
Sounds interesting to me.
Sounds good to me.
A gang of vampires? Hardly. But now that you say it, I have been finding these weird little scraps of paper everywhere, and he holds it up, and you realize he's kind of collected these little notes. There's this weird feller. I've been seeing him tall, skinny, and pale, and he keeps writing down these notes, and maybe he's not liking what he has, but he'll be dropping them all around the place. And sure enough, you can see where someone's been writing like a story, and they're kind of like peeled off their notes and trashed them as they went and things, just leaving them throughout the tunnels. And then Bluetooth has collected them. He's like, yeah, I think it's some book he's writing or something. And let me check. If one of you guys wants to in particular, you could investigate the book. Or it's kind of put together.
DM, I have to go now.
Okay, no problem, man. Thank you so much. I'll tag you in any rewards and stuff.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys. And sorry, it's just so late for me right now that I must wake up in 3 hours now. So
Yeah,
No worries.
power nap, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much for playing, man. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for
Good
the
night.
evening, and take care of yourself, everyone.
You too.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Have a good night. Bye bye.
So, it takes a little time to kind of decipher it, but you realize there's an author name called Tev Zevia, and it's titled Sanguine Chronicles, Book 1, Sweet Death. The plot is terrible, the dialogue in it is terrible, the characters terrible, and it all seems to be about vampires, like a loving homage to vampires, i.e., Twilight and New Moon and all those type of movie stuff. You read about a character who is in love with a vampire and what is that? A werewolf even comes into play, and oh my gosh, which one do I love? I don't know. You may be cringing a little bit as you read this, but it does kind of provide some interesting information as you do pick through it. You learn some stuff about vampires, such as how they're shape changers. They got that misty escape ability. They can regenerate. Some of their weaknesses, like how they don't like running water or stakes or sunlight, and maybe some of their actions they could do, like biting, charming, and how they're children of the night, and that type of thing. But yeah, it's kind of hard to muscle through what it's laced in all this, preteen vampire romance. And eventually, though, you kind of stuff it or throw it or burn it, however you see fit. And Lim is like, I was kind of saving him for a laugh, but, it's pretty funny. Well, if you want, the tunnel's back there. And like I said, good luck with that Rizzle room.
All right, thank you.
Let's go see Rizzle Rum. So what do we think? Do we sneak, or should we talk, or what should we do?
I mean, I can try and stealth in, and I can cast a minor illusion, and then I can sleight of hand everything that I can. Maybe.
No, maybe a recon.
If we want it sustainable, we either need to eliminate it or pacify it.
Either way, your choice.
Yeah, let's go. Let's check it out.
Okay, so
What's the worst that can happen?
Lily, you want to stealth ahead? Is that the decision?
Sure, I can stealth ahead.
Oh, she's so brave. This brave little gnome, falling down pits, stealthing into ghost pits. Probably going to be another pit later on. Maybe not. But you go in and you see skeletons of what could only be a dozen dwarves or so. You go in very stealthily, of course, with Hagar close at your heels. You notice that the skeletons are covered in soft patches of the blue lichen, and it seems to be deeply rooted in their bones. It spreads out thinly between them, but there's more than enough in there to meet Durnan's request. Go ahead and make me a nature check, Lily.
Ugh. Can we pick something else?
Nope, not for this one. And Hagar, go ahead and make me a nature check since you're in there too. My bad.
No worries. Nature.
Oh my gosh.
Here, I'll bring you some spices.
So I will leave the reasoning up to you guys, but I'll just spell it out like this. I can't. There's a lot of it there. You don't need. His original request from Durnan was that he would be satisfied with a few, handfuls of it, but what he was actually asking for was, like a replenishable source of it. So you guys snuck in here. It's pretty dark and gloomy. You see the skeletons with the lichen kind of covering them. Other than that, nothing at all. You've gained the information that, what you see. Whatever you do from here on out is your choice.
Can I try and see where it originates from?
See what it originates from.
The lichen that's, growing along the bones, right?
Okay. And how about you, Billy?
I want to cast message and send a message back to someone else in the group to relay what we saw.
Okay. So you're able to do that. We'll say Segalian, he's out there. He hears it loud and clear. Maybe a grunt and a belch and approval.
So we have what we need. I guess reply to that message.
We found the source. We just need to get it now.
Watch out for ghosts.
So since you're the one being relayed to Segalian, go ahead and make me a nature check. We'll do with disadvantage since you're not actually laying your eyes on it. Ah, crap. Man, y'all are not very into nature.
I thought Segalian was in there with me.
No, that's Hagar.
Oh.
Okay. There is like a little map for this too, honestly, but it's not really like too pertinent. But I'll go ahead and reveal it. It's the Bone Garden. So if you guys want to move over there, however, you two would be inside, the rest of you would be out. But there's that little piece of map there. All right, so Lily, you did that, and of course I'm going to get to you too, Hagar. I just want to figure out the action order here, kind of. But Lily, what would you do in the end? Would you just wait and watch Hagar, or do you want to act yourself in some way, or what?
Let's see. I've already cast message, so I can't cast again.
Nothing's current. Well, yeah, okay. We'll say that could. All right, we'll just play it like this. Nothing gained, nothing lost. Hopefully, but this will be funny.
Can I use my Mage Hand Ledgerman to grab one of the bones or something?
Sure. Okay. So just about the time that Hagar is kind of like bending over some of the bones, not quite touching it, but just getting very, very close to it. Perhaps his boot maybe scuffs the bone or something. Just about the same time that your mage hand like silently tries to pluck a little section of the lichen off of it, and in a swirl of dust and blue lichen, this ghost appears. Based off description and such from Bluetooth, this could only be Rizzlerum. It's a pretty ghastly looking dwarfish female ghost, and she comes up and screams at you and automatically shows you her true form. And oh my god, it is terrifying. It's so freaking scary that you're going to have to make me a save when I find it. Horrifying visage. There it is. Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw from both of you, please.
Is this considered magic?
Don't think so.
I only ask because I have advantage on a magic.
I guess that's up for debate. What was your first roll?
5.
Oh goodness. So I don't think it's magic, but perhaps we can debate. But we'll go we'll talk and we'll see. But basically, she shows you her horrifying visage. You have to make the wisdom save, or you'll be frightened for 1 minute. So you instantly kind of like lose control of the leisure domain there, and you kind of feel yourself like pressed up against the back, and the tunnel entrance is right next to you, and you feel this overwhelming urge to just take off down it. But we can kind of leave that to you in a second. It's kind of same for you, Hagar. Oh wait, where were you, Hagar? No, never mind. Hagar, you see this, and you can only kind of like chuckle to yourself as your countless years have brought you much worse sights than what this poor lost soul is trying to scare you with. No, nothing affects you. Unfortunately for Lily, you're frightened, but as you back yourself up against the wall, Hagar, you kind of look back in horror as you watch Lily slowly age. And Lily, please go ahead and roll me a d4.
Kidding me?
Sorry. I'll preface this with saying you can quote-unquote get lesser restored after this game, and you won't have to deal with the effects anymore. But for now, how old are you currently?
Thank God I'm young. 41.
And gnomes live forever, so honestly, you're not going to be that much older. But you'll watch Hagar. You watch this young, bright gnome female slowly age 40 years and changes to now be 60-something years old. Still not too old for a gnome, but you can see where it was kind of the sprightly, young, borderline immature teenager, still type, is now replaced by a much more mature, closer to adulthood, fully, in their prime age of a little gnome. And so this isn't really a combat situation, but Rizzlerum kind of it can be if you want it to be, I suppose. But Rizzleroom, anything can be if you want it. But she kind of pops up and she screams, "Wah! Dare you disturb the bones of my brothers?"
Look, I was just trying to see what was going on.
And now you see what awaits you in your future. Look, that is a wrinkle and one gray hair.
Nothing that I can't fix.
Why dare you disturb these bones? I was the last of my kin to perish, and I swore that I won't pass on until I know that they will never be disturbed. What are you gonna say, Hagar?
Well, they were just trying to find the light, and we aren't trying to disturb you. We're trying to find vampires and find light. You don't seem to be a vampire, so we don't really want to mess with you if we don't have to. We'll be happy to leave you alone if you just tell us, help us find you we're looking for.
It sounds like a deal could be made. Some of this information I shared with that damn dwarf druid in the yard there, and he still refuses to leave me alone or take the secrets of my people to the heights that they deserve. Although I know he does treasure us, and that's the reason why I haven't truly run him out. And yet, if you would allow me to join inside you, I promise not a true possession, but just a ride, if you will. I would love to take you.
Fries?
You sure can. Take you all for a tour of
I don't really like
my
fries,
people's last resting place. And I will show you the great secrets, and may even help you commune with the spirits of the great mine herself. If you will only trust me.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Do you
it.
have to possess a humanoid, or do you possess any creature that's living?
What is your name?
Well, I said, do you have to possess a humanoid, or do you possess...
So she
any
kind of
living-
flies uncomfortably close up to you, and you almost feel this ghostly caress as her hand kind of touches through your face, and
Nope.
she says,
I
"What?
am going to...
What is your name, Hagar?" Not Hagar. I'm so stupid. What is your name?
I'm not going to tell you in case you possess me. I will, however, take out my... Let's see if I can paste it in the chat, but I have a goat amulet thing which can summon a goat. We'll see if I can...
So she kind of clicks, and she flies backwards in a swoosh, and then now she faces Lily, and you feel a lot of that original frightened kind of wear off enough to where you can,
Yeah.
be understandable. And she's like, "Oh, trust is such a fickle thing. I'll not hold it against him, but I can only try once more. Dearest little gnome, let me inside your conscious, and I'll show you a tour of this place and explain the wonders of my people. If only you'll let me take that to the outside world and find true peace."
I'm going to summon my goat and say, possess my goat. Its name is Goat.
I
You
need
possess
you
it
to
24
trust.
hours.
I need you to trust me. It's a small thing, I promise. I want to
Alright,
share this
fine.
great knowledge. I can only do it
Fine.
through contact with your body, or one of your bodies.
Do it. Come on.
Boom! She kind of seals inside of you, and you just feel her presence, which you're pretty used to this telekinetic speech as she says, "It's a shame he would not trust. But I do not blame, for I do not trust any in our domain. Now please, take a trip around, and I will explain to you all I can. Have your fellows follow, and please share with them as well. And we'll just, as long as everyone's willing, we'll just jump right through to it, so we're saving us some time here and everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't blame you for feeling threatened, and easily she could be threatening, but she'll just leave it with the old aging tactic. That one's always a laugh. God, I love doing that. At the in real life session where I guess it's kind of a weird thing to say. We're still in real life, but the in person session I ran this at the little shop. there's this one kid there, and I ended up getting him with the age thing. And at another game, like months ago, with a different ghost, I got him with that age thing. So it was like the same guy, different characters, but I aged him up twice in 2 different sessions, months across. And oh my god, it was so funny. Oh, God, I love D&D. But anyways, she's more than willing to take you guys along, and of course, what the nature check would have showed you earlier, I could just, it's pretty obvious that you found the source that's desired, and you don't really need to take it up to him. He was just, wanting to know where he can get it. So you've kind of satisfied that. Bluetooth kind of like looks at you with surprised eyes as you shuffle back through the garden. He says, "Well, by gum, they did it. And it looks like I won't really need to share too much with you. She's gonna do it all. Well, bye, Rizzarum. I miss you. I kind of thought we might have had a thing there, but okay. See ya." And you feel the just like in your mind, Lily, as you pass back through. And as you do, she starts to trickle this information to you as well. And you feel the knowledge kind of coalesce and flow from the walls into your mind as this spirit helps you kind of channel this energy. And the long dead spirits of the dwarves hidden within the stone carvings and statues kind of start to speak to you in a way as you form a connection with the mind spirit. You find yourself traced back to the beginning, where you see the ramp, and you're able to understand now the mural that you traced down, which is like a timeline. At the beginning, it shows a very mythic being known as Moreland. The dwarves have his name to etch out as the All-Father. And you see him crafting within this very mystical building type contraption called the Soul Forge. He's using that to craft the dwarves. And as you kind of trace your way back up from where you were below, excuse me, you see that they've kind of depicted the whole creation of the dwarven people, and all the faces all the problems they faced. Sorry, as they traveled upwards through the world to the surface, and joined, to be one of the first races on the material plane, as it were. One of, I say, not the very first, I don't believe. But anyways, you're also kind of drawn mystically through these tunnels by the spirit towards a garden of fungus, and kind of hidden amidst these fungal gardens, you see the sprawling murals. It kind of depicts an entire flourishing fungal ecosystem. You see kind of some of those same blue ones that led you to the garden earlier, but also just so many more, all different types of these. And it just tells you the secrets of, if you were proficient in like alchemist supplies or brewer supplies or herbalist kit, how you could take some of these and use them in different various ways and things. So, that could be interesting depending on, we just don't have a druid in the party today, so probably y'all don't care too much about that. But another thing, you eventually are led to this statue, kind of off in a lost tunnel too, and it's an intricate statue depicting a silver dragon slumbering peacefully around a treasure hoard of art objects and trinkets. You kind of feel this urge to walk around it and view it from different angles, and as you do, it contains lost methods of dwarven stonework and masonry. Basically, if any of you are proficient in mason's tools, painter supplies, smith tools, tinker tools, anything like that, you could like learn these secrets, and it would just be like not necessarily a story award, but kind of like an extra character trait that you pick up, or something that your person, even though you're not like a dwarf or something, you would be like specially versed in like dwarven masonry and painting and smithing and things like that. So if you have the proficiency and you want to throw it out there in chat or say it out loud, you can either for the fungal undercommon, or not undercommon, with the underdark fungus, you could be a little more like well versed in that if you're you have the supplies or kits to do that, or if you're more the masonry, painter, smith type, you could learn the dwarven secrets to that. It's kind of a cool little character thing you can do if you're able to.
Sure. You learn the painting stuff.
Yeah, so it's more just like a little character trait to add onto your sheet, just that you're now well versed in dwarven painting. So that's kind of cool, even though you're not a dwarf. And to wrap up this little section of the role play, as it were, I guess, Lily, as you kind of realize that your tour through the place is over, Rizzlerum kind of thanks you in your mind and says, "Well, I must say," and slowly her voice like changes to be like the soft voice of what it used to be. "It's been a long time since I felt as human as this, and I owe that all to you."
You're welcome.
Well, for that, I'd like to share with you one last fact, and it may save you. That fellow that's been running amok in here, I believe Bluetooth probably mentioned him. He has a consort with him as well. I hear his rumblings and throughout the walls. Sometimes the cave herself, the mind, spirit, shrieks in agony as this golem that has been made from the bones of my ancestors grinds and breaks through. I'm not sure what they're seeking, but I know there was a recent cave-in, and ever since then, the constant grinding, breaking of the walls there hasn't ceased. I would ask you to find and eliminate this golem if you could. And for a little bit more information, I would like to tell you that it is my bones that reside in this golem. And worse yet, he took my most prized possession and coalesced into the middle of his being. Keep an eye out for my mace. It's a very special mace, concealed deep in its body, I believe. You'll notice it if you see it, though. It's dark, black, very powerful mace. I'm gonna go now. You've put me at rest, but if you recover this, you can keep it for yourself. And without further, you can say your goodbyes to her as you will, but her spirit will flit up and drift off into the ceiling. As you know, she has found peace. And giving you a little bit of tip ahead. And so with that, you found yourselves pretty confident on how to navigate this area now through her guidance in your mind, and also just Hagar's tips he had picked up earlier off the walls and things. You're all feeling a little bit more closer to this mind spirit as you shuffle your way back through, and all the art and all these scenes of life and stuff start to just speak a little bit more to you, and you feel a bit of remorse for these dwarven people that were trapped here, and they made the best of it, and you can see how they used their ability to truly create works of art of this place before they were eventually tracked down and killed outright. Let's just be honest. But it finally leads you more towards like a residential area, and you find yourself in a pretty similar oval-like pit to what you were in at the beginning of this whole area. And yet, you see there's like a lot of strewn about rocks and things. And across the far side of the room, you see how it definitely was clearly caved in. So, I guess, of course, we usually have our stealthier folk and things like that. So anything you want to work out before you enter this chamber, feel free to do so, and then we'll proceed with the description.
I will be stealthing.
As will I.
I guess we didn't have a chance to get any healing after that cave-in, huh? We'll just have to go for it.
I know I'm pushing the story along myself, so if you guys want to squeeze in a break right then, y'all could have done that, yeah?
Oh, that would have been huge, because we took that cave-in hurt.
Sure, yeah, so if you guys want to take a short rest there, that's fine with me. I don't see anything wrong with that. And if there's anything preliminary else you want to do before you kind of go in here, feel free.
Yeah, I used all my dice. I got up the max. You can use as many dice as you want, correct?
Just,
yeah, as many hit dice as you want, yep.
Oh yeah, that might... I've only not down any short rests again, so I've used all of them. So
Nice.
down
Yeah,
30
that's fine.
points.
This will be the last encounter.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like I was down like 20, 30. It's like, yeah, I just used them all. Okay. Oh,
Oh, cool.
that's a big creature.
This is the golem you were told of, except for instead of being gray stone with the blue center, he's more like dark blue bone body and more like a dark black center, as you recognize Rizzlerum's mace. God, man, she cannot, even with her rest, her weapon lives on in horror. Let's see real quick.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about the roller coaster.
Not the coolest looking token, but he'll do.
I know it.
And so, let me see just real quick on how to present this. Go ahead and get, go ahead. I know you already pushed ahead, Lily, my bad, but if that would be kind of the cap at the start, is let's just start off at the entrance kind of, and you guys can layer yourselves up. And looks like we had a stealth from 3 of you, and pretty dang good stealth rolls, if I may add, so those will probably be okay. Let's see, was there... Raston, do you want to try to stealth? I mean, he may not hit it, but... Oh, you did. Oh, my God. So, of course, you never know if you're stealthy enough, but as you guys dip low into a crouch, you realize that you're probably more than stealthy enough. Just for the sake of everything, you could kind of... shutter the lantern or whatever it is that you're using for light, but of course you can bust it back open pretty quick and when you get in there and everything. But that was a good enough stealth roll that I ain't tripping about little things like that. So you go into the room and you see a fellow across the way, and he seems to be writing in a notebook, and he is automatically striking in his appearance where he seems to be, I guess to put it simple, pretty goth looking, I guess. He's dressed in black and hair so swept over in the emo fashion, actually. And then he has 2 little fangs kind of poking out from either side of his mouth, and his skin is very, very pale. Okay, my bad. So, as you approach the entrance, you see a pile of blue bone shards and lichen that kind of marks the location where this character named Tev, he would have animated the golem. And so, go ahead and make me a history check, Lily, as you approach.
Come on, be decent. I can live with that.
Okay, so there's a lot of details to this, of course, and this is one that I kind of skipped over that matters in a way, but with your history, you're able to recall that whenever you were reading those, story notes earlier, that it did talk about how the character in the story loved having like a faithful hound around, and there would even be notes off to the side that would say things like kind of like depicting like how he would cast Mordenkainen's faithful hound spell. That's like one of his favorites. And go ahead and roll me one more history, and if you pass it, I'll give you the trick here, basically. Because I said it earlier, but it was a pretty brief thing that we went across. So I'm not going to expect you to pull like one small little detail out of your hind end. So, what do you personally, like you as a person, not your character, what do you know about that Mordenkainen Faithful Hound spell? Anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an Arcana then for Lily, and let's see. Okay, so I'll put it this way. There was one time that you were in a raid on a burglary job, and it was a mage's tower, and as you got to the room you were supposed to be at, you weren't able to pull it off because all of a sudden this like yapping of an invisible hound just started out of nowhere, and and that's all you can really remember about it. If you would have done better, I would have given you a little more, of course. But so you know what the spell is. You know that this dude likes to use it, and so I'll kind of allow you to proceed from there.
Am I still stealth?
Yeah, you're still stealth. Let me pull up something just in case, and then. So it's interesting. So, do you want to tell your friends about what you remember with that?
Yeah,
And
obviously.
Does anybody do? No one can cast that probably. That's more of a wizard thing, I'm assuming. But have any of y'all? I guess I'll just ask out. It's kind of silly to do it like this, but do any of y'all as players know about this spell and what it requires?
Yeah. As far as material components, or as far as what it does?
Just like to circumvent it, basically. So
I've had a gnome that used to cast it from time to time.
Okay. So let's just do because everybody. I guess y'all three just roll me a history check, and if it's good enough, I'll tell y'all something. I guess.
Which three?
The other three, other than Lily. Because she was like towing the line on the history, but then the Arcana wasn't there. So I'll just kind of give it one more general check for y'all to shore it up. Otherwise, we'll just jump into it. I don't want to just make y'all have to deal with something. So Hagar, you know that it requires a password to get by this. You've been around the block a couple times, and so you know that if you speak a password within so many feet of this thing, it will not activate. And so I'll say, I don't want to give you all the answer, but this is being cast by the guy who's writing the vampire fanfic. I told y'all earlier what it was called and some of the details about it, and the password was in that. And so I'll let you think real quick, and you can take as many guesses as you want. If you could say the word.
The title was Sanguine Love, but I can't remember the protagonist's name.
Yeah, Sanguine. Yeah.
Hey, no, that's good enough, honestly, man. I didn't want to just feed you the answer, but I didn't want to like screw you either, because I didn't mention that earlier as much as I should have probably. But Sanguine is actually the password. You kind of feel yourself remember that from his little notes, and you say it out loud, and you realize that you just deactivated that trap. And without further ado, you're able to sneak in without being noticed.
Can we get deeper?
Yeah, you can move into wherever you want now. I mean, honestly, you're stealthed, and these dudes are not going to be able to see you at those rolls. So you could kind of move all the way up to them if you want to. And just for a little more description as we got past that part, you see, of course, that the two creatures, I pretty well described them. And it seems very clear that the golem is just trying to dig through the back end of the tunnel. You can see that he may have started even by like where Lily's standing, and he's just cleared all that much out of the way as they're trying to dig their way back to what you could only assume is, probably a little more residential area. You have yet to find the Undertaker's lair, so it seems pretty clear that it's probably beyond that barrier, especially as this guy resembles, one of the Undertakers from what you've been told. As far as how you want to approach the guy, that's totally up to you. He's just kind of scrolling in his notebook, and you hear him mutter like, "Sanguine Chronicles II, New Moon. This is where I'm very much going to introduce the werewolf character, and maybe I'll even come up with some sort of plot that drags on for, how many chapters do I think I can come up with?"
I know I may try to listen to him for at least 1 minute.
I guess Hagar, what'd you say first?
Before I take any action, I'm going to listen to him speak for 1 minute.
Okay, and then what about you, Lily?
Because I have the active feat.
I mean, really the only thing I can do is take a pop shot at one of them.
You can if you want to, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't want to screw the rest of the party.
I mean, I think they told us to get him.
Okay. So,
So
I think the
if you guys just
golem
want
will be the biggest issue.
you want to jump into a surprise round?
Sounds good.
Sure.
We can knock him out and talk to him later.
Yeah, because y'all stealth is balling. So I mean, do you need me to add you, Lily?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Well, for instance,
Of course, you're gonna skip both of them on their first go through, of course. And let me see what they can do.
Jesus Christ, my initiative sucks.
Looks like Tev Zevia is gonna have a 9 himself. So
I have advantage on that.
and then for the stone boner. Oh god damn it, bone golem, whatever.
Okay, no.
The golem of boners. Oh god damn it, get these thoughts out of my head. Just playing. He's actually only gonna have a 7. Slow bone. All right, everybody on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plead the fifth. So I'm just leaving them. They're at average for the tier and stuff. I think that's what it would have been anyway. So it's fine. And with time and everything, if y'all steamroll me, we'll just move right along. Or hopefully I don't steamroll y'all too bad. We'll see. Never underestimate golems. So with that, Segalian, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna go up here, and I'm going to start whipping that guy non-lethally.
So with advantage, right? Since it's he doesn't even know he's coming.
Dunk. That's probably not very good.
And let's see. He doesn't even have time to cast mage armor or anything since you guys snuck up on him so well. I'm debatable if I should just give it to him though, because I don't want y'all to steamroll it too easy.
I mean, it's an 8-hour spell, so that's like not. It's like, if you like
Okay,
wake
we'll
up,
give him the.
armor,
You're still gonna hit him,
scratch
but
balls.
we'll give him the mage armor. I'll just since I'm gonna do it, I'll tell y'all his AC is 15, so
All right,
definitely a hit.
all right, and the second hit is flat.
Okay,
Okay, that hits. Yay.
nice. To Durace. Oh my god.
right, and then
there's
I
so many
will,
bad jokes I can make at this, but I will, for the sake of internet, I will not.
All right, I'm gonna flurry of blows and punch him.
Okay, nice. So, caw. He shrieks out, "Oh my
this is
word!"
right.
Drops his notes and his pen and stuff in the ground. Ah! And he screams out. And then you go up and
Probably
punch
missed him on that.
And
Yeah, I got
then
one more.
it's more just insulting at this point. You like finger flick him or something. You're
Okay.
like, "We're here."
All right, and then I can move back here. I think. It's
Okay,
just
so the
difficult.
second one hit, right? So you got
29.
29. Woo! Okay, so from the whips,
Somebody within 5 feet of them.
the whips just like dug into his flesh, and it cut him even to where there's just blood leaking down from like it, from these like little punctures almost from the force of the whip, as well as a pretty nasty bruise forming up on his face, and his nose is bleeding. As you realize too. Let's see, that was Segalian. Go ahead and roll me an insight with advantage.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
wow.
beautiful. You realize as you're up closer and a little more personal that this is no vampire at all. This is clearly just a human dressed up to be a vampire. And as you kind of draw back, he's like, "Well, this is not the dark gift I fantasized about."
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, and then we'll go to Hagar. What you got, old man?
He will. Let's see, since I'm moving before him and since he is surprised, I have advantage on my attack, I believe.
This poor guy. He's not even going to get a turn.
No, he is not. I will. Nice. First one hit. And it said for assassinate, it says that if it hits, since they are surprised,
You auto max damage.
yeah, it's a crit. Or so how do I do that?
How many? What are you rolling? And then I'll just tell you if he's. I mean, honestly, yeah. Just tell me what you're rolling real quick.
1d8 plus 4.
So 2d8 plus 4.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is it an auto crit or it's just max damage?
It treats as critical.
So then it would be 2d8 plus 4, right? Just making sure.
Oh, I'm going for my sneak attack damage.
Okay,
And plus
he only has
2d6.
11 health, so unless you roll a whole bunch of ones, I mean, you can roll it out if you want to. Let's see if you want to
Fair
see,
enough.
but
Sure. And then 3d6.
so he'd still be alive, and then he'd be dead. Okay, do you? Yeah, you didn't call non-lethal or anything, so he's totally dead. As you know, you're.
Yeah, I actually type non-lethal projectiles anyway.
Oh, that's
I
true.
believe.
Yeah, it has to be a melee
Yeah,
attack.
that's right.
You're right. My bad. So,
Or
yeah, it doesn't matter, honestly. It's not going to affect anything. But yeah, you draw back and you fire your arrow, and it just pierces him. Like, he's got a bloody nose and a bruised face, and the other eye that seems to be the one that's not slowly swelling shut from his from Segalian's blow is like pierced through with your arrow, and his brains and blood just splatters. Go ahead.
hope yours is hard.
Oh, okay. It pierces his heart, and his heart is pierced up against the rock wall behind him, still kind of ba-bump, ba-bump, ba-bump. As the golem here realizes its master has been destroyed, it roars out in fury and turns towards you two, hopefully doing better than
Bonus
his.
action, sneak, and then run back here. And I'm done.
Okay, Raston, you're up. Got an angry golem facing you now, and good pot shot, and then you all pretty much get to go again.
Thank you.
Okay. I got 40 feet of movement.
Oh yeah, and then she still has a surprise round.
Yeah, so everyone's pretty much gonna get it.
Yeah, with 5 feet of them.
All right, what you got, Raston?
I'll rage, and then I'll swing twice.
That familiar scent and tang of blood in the air fuels your rage like no other thing can. That actually, let me double check, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a hit. That is definitely a hit.
Right, and then I'll stick my ancestral protectors on him. That's all I do.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't do any damage. It just he has to focus attacking on me, and if he goes towards my allies, it's disadvantage on them.
Okay, nice. And so you draw the attention to you, knowing that your friends can definitely back you up. So how much damage you had? 10 total?
It looks like it was 15 and 10.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't see that up there. Okay, so... Okay, cool. So, let's see. I'm sorry, again, it was 15 plus... So, 25?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the end of my turn.
Alright, so as you do, you rolled high enough on your first strike to when you close in with your battle axe, the first blow that you give, it kind of wedges in a little more than you thought, and you realize your blade is kind of like stuck in where the mace is, and with the heave you rip it backwards, and the mace actually comes out too, and like ting clong clong cling comes clattering out in between like you and Lily to the ground. The thing like turns back towards you just in time as you let forth your second attack, which obviously hits fantastically. This stupid thing, it looks on in rage as it's dumbfounded by all this action it did not know about. It was so busy with its work that it was the task that it was given. We'll go to Lily.
Oh, thank you, baby Jesus. I think that might hit.
That does hit. And so this will be a bit of a stickler in a way because With the short bow, the ammunition itself is not magic. Is that correct?
No, it's not.
So your attack isn't a magic attack like say how his battle axe earlier was.
No, it's just a straight arrow.
And so unfortunately, you dead on hit it, maybe even right in the pit where the mace used to be, but your arrow just kind of like crumples up against its iron hard exterior, and you realize that it didn't do even a scratch of damage to it.
Oh, okay, then I'm going to drop my bow, pull my blades, and move up.
Okay.
Actually, I thought a +1 short bow was magical.
Yeah, it should be.
But the ammunition isn't, though. Is that
True.
I don't
Yeah,
believe
no, you're right.
it's
You're
that
right.
picky. I'll ask.
because you can get magical ammunition too. You can get like +1 arrows and shit.
Hold on, I'll find out.
I can't buy a +1 arrow.
No, you can't. This could be debatable. So if you find a source that says opposite, let me know. But this is just kind of how.
Discord.
That's why I kind of presented it as a question rather than like a declaration too. Is because that's how I think it would go. But if something says opposite, then I'm totally willing
No,
to.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'll move up with my blades, and then when it's my turn again, I'll cast Booming Blade and hit him.
There you go. Always a will, there's a way. So feel free to correct me as we go, but we'll go to Segalian.
Okay, well, we learned something there. In that case, I'm going to bonus action this. Oh, it wasn't supposed to roll, but that's fine. I cast Zephyr Strike on myself,
Okay.
and that's a bonus action.
Do 3 damage to yourself. Okay.
No,
That's
that
fine.
didn't probably do any damage, but if I hit him, I'll do 3 extra.
Okay.
All right, so that will get me out of AOPS. I'm going to go in here and whip him twice.
Okay.
Danny, dad, you.
Okay. What does it say? Do you want to just say it real quick? My bad.
They said yes. It is magical.
So that would count as magical.
Yep. I
Oh.
said is an arrow shot or +1 short bow magical. So the arrow would count as magic. Someone said yes, and I'm seeing someone else said no. Oh. Yeah, another one said you do not need magical ammunition. Mundane ammunition shot from magical bow counts as magical.
Okay. So thank you, and we'll retcon that. That was 23 more damage you actually did. And if you want to move back and not drop your bow and all that stuff, Lily, you could most certainly do that.
Set.
All right. Thank you
And
again
I'll
for
use
that.
my bonus action to hide.
All right. Sounds great. And then Segalian, yeah, if you would need to change anything or if Zephyr
I'll hide
Strike all
very
good.
well.
Well, actually, it's very weird because I might have went and punched him instead of Zephyr Striking and not done damage with my fists. So unfortunately, it's like connected. We can do that instead if you want.
Well, you might be right on that.
Okay, I guess we'll do that. So I'll punch him twice, it won't matter. So I'll burn a key for Flurry of Blows and stay there. And not Zephyr Strike. So he only takes 9 damage, so I do less damage.
Okay, so wait.
Still slow fight.
So let's just
Because I only did that because I knew about magic weapons, right? So
Right,
then I
right,
would
so-
know. I guess I have to attack to see if I hit him to learn if learn that.
Yeah, that's true. I guess there wasn't too clear of an indication. There was just the one arrow shot, which did seem to do damage. So yeah, I guess you wouldn't really know. That's true. You wouldn't.
Yeah,
know.
and I still wouldn't know, in fact, because I missed with both flurries. So that's
Yeah, I
great.
appreciate the not metagaming on that because I probably would have just rolled along with it. But that's true. So you go up and you strike him, and I mean they're dead on hits, but it doesn't seem to affect him, and you can't tell if that's because you weren't able to put enough force behind it, or if because you missed, I guess, because you missed with both of those.
Yep. All right.
Okay. That'll be it.
It's just the 9 slashing from the whip on the 26. That's it.
Oh, and that is a plush one. Okay, 9 slashing. Good. And so I'll tell you, for a foe that has over 100 health, he now does not have 3 digits to his health. So you're chipping away. A lot more magic items too. So this is going pretty well for you. All right. If nothing else from Segalian, we'll go to Hagar.
Okay, I assume that I am currently hidden from him. I did do my sneak, and I got, I think, 14? Am I muted? No, I'm not muted.
No, you're not. My bad if you're saying something. Sorry, my baby is behind me.
Oh, sorry. I got a 14 on my go last turn. Am I hidden from him?
I know you do need to know. This is so funny because they had a typo in the stat block. His passive perception is 13, but they put a 0 in there, so I don't know if you will ever be able to get by the passive perception of 103. I'm like, ah!
Okay, so yeah, I'm hidden.
So, yep, you made it.
And someone is close to him, yep. So I do get advantage as well.
Okay, you're gonna need it.
I will do that, yep.
Ah, shoot.
Jeez, okay, no. I will, bonus action, just stealth. And then I will be done, jeez.
Okay.
Funny, Eddie now notice me. And yeah, I am done.
You're giving me a chance is all. All right, Raston. I might get to go. Ooh.
15 and a 25. Does the 15 hit him?
The 15 will not hit him, but the 25 definitely will.
All right, for 12 magical slashing. That's all I can do.
Okay, so the first blow, it like shoots off just this horrible sound as like the blade kind of grates against the bone and sends off even a spark or two. But the next one, you're able to kind of like focus in and get the solid hit. So 12 down.
Yep, and my ancestral protectors will still harass him.
Okay, so he's feeling harassed, and now he actually gets to go. And I guess he's gonna try to do something to help him survive longer, hopefully. And I'm gonna need looks like Raston and Segalian to make me a wisdom save. Probably not gonna be too hard for Segalian over there. Oh, neither one. Y'all are both wisdom based, right?
I'm not proficient in it, and threes don't. When you get a 3, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Now maybe I'm thinking of the other classes. Sorry. Unfortunately, those are both going to be shy as the golem kind of like becomes so still that it's like it's stone or bone. And then you realize there's this effect radiating off of it that you can almost not even perceive until you realize that essentially you've been slowed. And so both of you guys are slowed in the front. Actually, let me see. Lily, go ahead and make me that save too. You're within range.
Wisdom?
Yep.
I'm slowed.
And you are slowed as well, so I'm sure y'all know what it means. I have it written down here too, but you can only use one, either bonus action or action. Can't use both. You can make another wisdom save at the end of your turn. That's true. And yeah, okay. Here, you got it all on there. Cool. So you see it, and if you need any clarification, let me know. And that's its action, though, is to do that. So it will go to Lily. You are slowed, but you can act as you see fit.
Well, I can either attack or use bonus action. One of the two.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm just going to attack. Can't do anything. Show me the money.
Hey, this is my one little ace in the hole I have.
Does 23 hit?
It sure does. A strikingly good hit. Beautiful. And so now he's well under bloodied. I'd say he's about a third of his health left. As you notice the bits of skeleton, like chunks of skeleton, like a rib cage kind of falls off in one place, like a jawbone in another, butt cheekbone. You know, that one's easily identifiable. And anything else for Lily?
Oh no, I can't. I'm slowed, remember?
Sorry. All right, Segalian. Segalian.
Lily, you get a save, I think, and I will.
Oh yeah, wisdom save. Right?
Oh, so I can do another wisdom save. Okay.
And this one's pretty high, just so I'll throw it out there. But you passed, so I won't say the number. You passed. You're no longer slowed. All right, so Segalian, he does what he can. If his arm reaches forward, and he almost like watches as it's slower than his brain can, is sending the impulses to do. But he's able to crack the whip forward, efficiently land that 13 damage without issue. As bits more of the bone and debris kind of is starting to pepper all over Raston. And then, of course, you make that wisdom save, and you feel your reflexes snap back to how they should be. And dang, man, that is not going to be as worth it as it would have been at the start. I had 3 out of 4 slowed, and now I got 1.
Okay. I am not hidden, so do not get advantage, sadly. So I will just do longbow.
So if it counts with your sneak attack, then you would get advantage from your friend being 5
I
feet
would anyway. Oh,
within
God.
5 feet.
That doesn't give the advantage. It just allows you to do the sneak damage if
It
you
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you. I thought it did give you advantage.
No. A sneak attack. It says you don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within.
Okay. Thank you.
That is incapacitated, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll.
Yeah, that one line makes the world of difference. Okay, my bad. Just a little misconception I had there. My bad.
No worries. Either way, they're both 18.
Nice.
Under the 18. Yeah.
That's
that
why
actually
I
will
always
hit him.
love a tank and within 5 feet of the enemy.
Okay. So just 11 then. And then bonus action.
No, you do get the sneak attack.
Yeah.
You
I
get the
do,
damage.
okay.
You just didn't get the. Yeah, you don't get advantage on the
advantage to
roll,
get it, right.
but you do get the damage.
My goodness.
Yeah, so you got
25.
at 25.
And then I will sneak over here and duck behind this rock.
Okay.
And then I am done.
So let's finish this in style. As Hagar, really we're all focused on Raston now. Raston, you stand toe to toe with this golem towering over you, and yet you feel no fear as the guardians of your ancestors. They push on your back and whisper things in your ear and taunt your foe, making you more strong and enraged, and your foe more shooken and drawn towards you. And in that moment, you see a great large arrow streak overhead and strike into this beast. It just ricochets inside, boom, boom, bouncing around until finally it's still, but the damage has been done. And you see so many weak points on this creature as it's shambling over. It's literally on death's door. So all you got to do is get a hitting hit and tell me how you do it. It's at 1 health. It's all on your shoulders, Raston.
I'll whisper to my ancestral protectors and say, can't you do anything about magical effects? And I'll take my 1 attack.
And it's going to be enough. As when you first, you can flavor the rest of it if you like, but at the start you hold your battle axe up high with that one hand, and it's so slow, but as you build in confidence and you feel the comforting whispers of your long dead ancestors, suddenly your hand just snaps up in full speed and you jerk it down with so much force that you could take the reins on that if you want.
No, I'll just let it crumble.
It almost
And
explodes.
I'll be glad to get my muscles back and my speed back. Feel elated.
And you snap back to reality fully, and you guys are kind of able to, one, pick up a Mace of Smiting nearby, and that is going to be the magic item for this adventure. I don't know if I have that one on a handout, but I'm sure y'all are all pretty familiar with the Mace of Smiting by now. No, I don't have a handout for it, but if you want to know, let me know more. Or if you want to know more details on it, let me know. But basically, it's a +1 mace that does it becomes a +3 mace if it's going up against a construct, and it'll on a crit it'll do like an extra 7 or 14 damage depending on if it's a construct or not. That's just off the top of my head. I might have messed the detail up there, but anyways, you all now will have that for your magic item. Once again, it's I'll post the session logs again for this, of course. Which I realized I didn't hardly take any notes other than who was playing, but at least I got that. So just to wrap up story-wise, of course, you're able to determine by the corpse there and some of his notes and writings that. Thank you, Raston. He posted that details in there about the Mesa smiting if you need it. And again, it's the +1, but then it goes to +3 if it's on a construct. Yep. Oh yeah, you got that on there too. Man, you're always 2 steps ahead. Thank you so much, y'all. All right, cool. So you from the notes and the corpse and stuff, you're able to determine that it'd be like, you take a little time to clear this wall away, and the Undertaker's lair would be on the other side, and so you have fulfilled the first step of your contract with Artur Moreland, and that's enough to return with. You also have the information that Durnan seeks, and so when you go back to see Durnan, he's so super happy, and he's, we're gonna make a killing with this, and as I promised, here, endless blue ale for all of you. And he's figured out how to make it into an ale, to stretch it out to make it longer, last longer and stuff. And this is actually a story award, which let me copy and paste it. Let me see.
I just want to put on the record that I collected the bones from the golem and took them back to the chamber with all the rest of her fallen brethren.
If I could give you inspiration at the end, I would, because that's so sweet. You feel that comforting sigh and presence of Rizzle Rum's spirit truly finding rest as she knows that her body has made it to peace. And you got a cool mace in reward. So let me, real quick, I'll put it, I'll just post, what do y'all think? Just Tavern Talk, or maybe I'll put it on the Session Logs channel?
Might as well property log just mentioned that missed.
Okay, so maybe I'll copy and paste it to make it look better in a second, but I'll post it there now just so I have it and it's there for you guys.
Nice, and now I'm level 8.
Hold on, let's go to. So if you go to the session logs on Adventures League for our Pocket Mission server, I'm going to post the story award for you guys. Hopefully you get to find a good use of this. Anytime you're in Waterdeep and your DM is willing, you could use this. So you get Endless Bluetooth Ale. It's a way... Basically, you can get Blue Lichen anytime you go into Waterdeep and request it. Looks like you'd... just remember the details of it is that it gives you comprehend language. Let me copy and paste that too. That's probably important, honestly. I should probably put that with that, honestly. I don't know why they didn't, but... They expecting college-level notes on this shit. We're not going to do that. Alright, where's that? Endless Blue Drain. There it is. Never mind, I thought I had it, I didn't. They put it in like a very random spot of the story where the details for that drank.
Can I tell you something impressive? Well, it's not impressive, but can I tell you something new I actually did in Minecraft?
Sure.
I was climbing up a wall by using water buckets.
Really? All the way up the wall?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
To the nether bed wars.
My bad, y'all. I'm having a hard time finding that, but you need it. You need it.
And then will you join me?
Yeah, when I'm all done and give me a moment to chill, and then we can do something. You playing Minecraft?
Yeah. I'm playing Minecraft. And hey,
what I'm really looking for is how long it lasts, because I know what it does. It gives you comprehend languages, and it also allows you to speak with undead. But, oh, here it is. No, that's not it either. Jesus.
Oh, and then 3 hours of service time. Yay.
I know, we really stacked up on that today. I got a good extra bit.
climbed up the wall with
Thanks for running.
Oh, no problem, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know it's a little more off the cuff than what I'm usually used to doing, but hey, that's the part of being a DM. You got to be ready for anything.
Well, not trying to bust anybody's chops, but the last couple hours with you was more relaxing and entertaining than the first 2 we had with the other guy. I know it was new and he was just trying it out, but this seemed like this one a lot smoother.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Hey, I've had my fair share of fuck-ups. I'll just put it bluntly.
But it's not easy, especially over Discord. I get it, but you can definitely tell that some people are more relaxed with it than others, able to keep things going and flowing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
And
only experience. Okay. I can't find it on here for some reason on this PDF. I don't know. It's just blipping me. But just put a note that it
By
gives
the
you
way,
the
I don't know if
comprehend.
you know this, but you're muted.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying there, Matt? Hey, my bad if you were saying something. Okay, but yeah, you could probably look it up, and I could probably look a little bit better on my phone. I'm just having a hard time finding it on there right now on the computer. But basically, like I said before, just take a note. Comprehend languages, speak with undead. It probably lasts like an hour or something. I think, if I remember correctly, I think it lasts 1 hour. So that's what I would go with, and I don't think anyone's gonna call that.
Didn't Darnan bring that up like after he first offered it? Is that like towards the beginning of the adventure? Maybe that's where it's at.
I know, right? Let me see, like Sam saying, like it's not on this first one.
Oh, did I mute? Never mind. My PC was muted. Whoops.
I think they might have like hit it in one of those playing the pillars thing too. So
Yeah.
might be throwing me off.
You could just put it later. I mean,
Yeah,
to
I
get
wouldn't.
the gold reward.
I'm pretty sure I was.
I
I think I was pretty dead on with that. So with the description, so I would take that to heart with what it was. So it's like 1 hour. You get the comprehend languages or the speak with undead or whatever. But anyway, so you got the story award. You got the optional level. You got 10 downtime, and then you got the Mace of Smiting. I will of course put the session log as Matt had said earlier. Yeah, we went from pretty much 640.
Was there any gold at all?
Oh yeah, of course. That's the last thing. Sorry. We got the service hours, 3 hours. It looks like for this one, and then with a couple hours for the one from earlier too. And then let me calculate. I think this is one of those where it doesn't give me the gold. So the cap's 1,000 to 5,000 if I'm correct, right? For tier 2. I don't know if any of y'all know that off the top of your head, but I'm pretty sure it's 1,000 to 5,000. So let's see. There's 4 of y'all in the end. We had one. I'll give him half gold, and he won't get the mace, unfortunately. But so let me do some quick calculations in my head real quick.